guys. Hey, hi, hello. We'll do our intro here in about 2 seconds. I just want to recall how I get my chat. I mean, I did it last week, so I should remember, but I don't. See here? Wait. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Okay, cool. But how do I get my chat? Let's do all messages. How does it show? Maybe I'll just have to pull it up over here on the computer. Sorry, guys, I should have been a little more prepared than I am. That's live. Maybe if I just search this. Stand by. Let's see. So copy. I'll just search my channel and see if I can find a live stream. It says I'm live, so. But I'm not seeing one. Let me log into my other. Oh, there's just here. Okay. So we have action. Okay. That's why the chat, because no one was chatting. Okay, that tracks. That makes sense. So we have one person here. Yay. Let's centralize this. You want to sit with me or
No.
try? Just stand?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, so today, hey, hi, hello, and good
Hi.
afternoon.
Oh yeah.
You forgot my intro. It's been a minute. I don't think you've been on my live stream since last summer. Probably, right? Quit drinking my coffee, kids. Anyway, so hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. It's a bit chaotic. We got everybody home right now, and literally the living area is right here, open to the downstairs, so you can hear everything. So
There's a space right here. I'm in the living room.
he's in the ceiling area of the living room right now. Yeah, this is not an ideal office situation at all, but here's where we're at right now. So quit drinking my coffee. I guess I'll take a drink of my water. But anywho, today we're gonna be doing a free one card pull for about 20 minutes. I always say the first 20 minutes, but you guys know me, I never just get right into it.
Yo, how much? There's 11 people.
Say hi, get in the frame.
My God.
So if you're here, if you're new, if you're just joining us, hey, hi, hello. My name's Amanda. This is Wrigley. We're gonna be pulling cards. Mostly, I think he's gonna be pulling cards for you today, and then I'll be
Lucky.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. He won his baseball for his little so there's different sections of town and then like surrounding towns that each kind of have their own leagues. And there were how many teams for you? 10?
12, I think.
12?
But we didn't
So
play Shields.
yeah, they got rained out on one game. So there was one team they didn't play. So
There's two.
oh, it was another Florence team you didn't play. So in our little sector, there were 12 total teams. So um they had a single elimination tournament, and their team was the top, so they won the Mount Sentinel championship. And then there was, let me see, so a different one that had probably about the same amount of teams, that their championship winner is going to play our championship winner. And then Boston's same thing, but there were only 4 teams in his whole older bracket, because they now have like Legion baseball, high school baseball, travel ball baseball, and he's just in little league. He doesn't do all that other baseball. So there were only 4 teams. So competition was a little less fierce. But we had to play the last game. We had to play my nephew's team, which was always fun to get to hang out with my sister and watch my nephew and Boston get to play together. It's fun, or play each other, not together, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. But anywho, we have some people here. So what should the magic password be? Like, it could be numbers.
6, 7.
Of course it's gonna be 6, 7, you guys. I thought that was done.
Um,
It is.
yeah.
You just thought, let's put a 6, 7 in the chat. If you want a free one card pull, put a 6, 7. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance for the 6, 7. Aw. That's so fun. Yes, we have lots of 6, 7s here. I'm gonna see if my live ever updated over? Oh, yes. Okay. It's going to be easier for me to keep the chat because it moves. Live ever updated over. Oh,
Oops.
yes. Okay. It moves less, or I get to see more of it, I should say, because it's not like my chat is one of those that's just zooming by. Um, I've never had that, and nor do I care to have that. That's fine. I love what we've got going on. Let me catch up on a few comments. We've already got some 6 7s in the chat. Bunny ears are back, I guess. That was a big thing in the 90s. Yeah, how was your last day of school?
Good.
I would say we could show them a photo, but we're literally on the phone. But I did.
So
Okay, yeah. I did post a like anime looking photo of Boston and Wrigley on the last day of school on my community post, just letting everybody know I was going to be live today. So, yes, we've officially cleared ninth grade and 5th grade. So we're moving up to middle school for this one here, and then the other one's going to be in 10th grade.
oh yeah, these are the pictures.
Okay.
No wait, no more. Wait.
Close my bedroom door so if the dogs do come up here, they don't run out there and try to bark outside. Okay, apologies. We're getting to it. Yeah, that's the one I shared on the community tab. I thought that was fun. The little anime guys.
What's this one?
And then we got like I don't know. Sorry if you guys can hear dogs barking and people talk. I would go in Wrigley's room, but I can't even get my chair in there. He's got clothes and toys and stuff all over the floor. And my bedroom, you can hear everything in there anyway, because there's a wall open to the downstairs in there as well, but it's like covered with careful.
I didn't touch that.
Covered with like a styrofoam thing. So I don't really have a
Guys,
private
like,
workspace anymore.
did your own now just to take that one?
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did. You weren't there.
I literally took the photo. Okay, enough about all that. Let's get into our free one card pull. So the first one I see, I do believe, is Kashfi. Oops. All right, let me see. I don't know what I clicked. Okay, we're out of that. Okay, that's enough. People might be wearing headphones, and that's really annoying. Okay, so Kashfi, let's get you a card. Here we go. And Wrigley's going to choose a card, and then I'll interpret the card.
This one.
Okay, what do we have? For Kashfi, you have Air Dragon. Helps you rise above earthly matters, communicate honestly, brings inspiration and hope, and see life from a higher perspective. So you're getting clarity, a higher perspective. This is very like Ace of Swords energy. You're finally able to, especially like hindsight. They say hindsight's 2020, meaning after something's already said and done, and then you look back at it, oh, I totally understand the lesson I was learning, or what that actually meant, or what that word problem was trying to tell me in math, or, whatever the case may be. So you're getting some clarity. And this is going to actually serve you going into middle school next year. So that's really cool. Not you, Kashfi. She's going into middle school too.
6th grade.
Yeah. You guys are like twins from a distance. All right, up next, who's the next one I see? Solar Siren, aka Jessa. Well, she gets 2 slippery energy, but I think Wrigley still also needs to pick one.
Here. Hey.
Okay.
No. This one.
Okay. So let's read the slippery energy ones first. So we have Thor's red, black, and gold dragon protects you in times of change. This came out in our collective, I want to say, on Wednesday. I could be wrong about that. It came out in someone's reading. I do remember this one. A time of rapid transition and transformation. Relax, you are safe. Good. This is slippery energy. It doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means you're maybe having a hard time believing that or trusting that. When the universe asks us to trust, it's really hard sometimes, especially when we need that cash money rolling in. We have Blue Dragon from the Pleiades, prepares you to accept source healing. I love this. Accept a heart activation, give and receive a heart healing. Wrigley also drew you something out of our treasure chest over here for some reason. So apparently Jessa needs a little extra TLC today, which is fine.
I found the treasure chest.
Okay, and we still have your official card as well. I choose thoughts. Oh, I only choose thoughts that create a wonderful future, and I move into it now. I mean, how fitting is this? I love that. And then the actual official card. This also came out in our collective, I believe, yesterday. Or, sorry, Wednesday. So we have Earth and Air Dragon, and it says represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Stay balanced, ground your visions, and manifest your hopes and dreams. So that hope, that wish, that desire is just like, it's right there. It's just like reach out and grab it, and you're like, I do, and then I'm grabbing air, like, what's happening here? So, this is about learning to trust the process, trust your own higher self, trust, whatever guardians or guides that you are working with. Trust that you're being taken care of because you really are. You really are. All right. So next we have somebody. Who do we have? Michelle Lynn. Hello, welcome, welcome.
Who's that?
Michelle.
Yeah.
She comes around a lot. All right.
Really?
Yes.
She cool?
She's awesome.
Okay.
Kids, she cool? Yes, yes, she's very cool. Okay, so we have the royal blue and gold dragon strengthens you to stand in your power with wisdom, awaken to your own majesty, wear your cloak of power with pride. Oh my gosh, and this is really giving like strong, like external 6-7 vibe, he says. Very strong external kind of strength that has been sourced as a result of inner strength is really what's coming through. So this is also kind of asking you to trust, but not trust something outside of you, Michelle. This is about you trusting your own skills, abilities, divine path. That's what's really coming through here is for you to be able to trust the process, very much like what we were having with Jessa. But this is not you having to rely or wait for anything outside of you to get the ball rolling. This is very much, hey, I want to start this afternoon, then go ahead and get started. Like that's the energy available for you right now, Michelle. I love it.
6
All right, get to Leka Ray. Let's get her card. All right, you go ahead and pull a card for Get to
Wait,
Leka.
did this girl?
Yep.
Oh, she looks cool.
He said she looks cool. All right. So Gitzeleka has the golden solar dragon. So specifically wherever your sun is in your natal chart, and then of course wherever it's transiting, which I believe it's still in Taurus for Vedic astrology. It might have gone into Gemini. I can't recall. The lines are a little bit blurry for me on that transition, but I think we're going to be moving into Gemini soon solar wise. But we have golden solar dragon for Getaleka, helps you stand in your masculine power with wisdom, let your DNA be reprogrammed and light codes activated, become an inspired leader. So this really is about you standing in that leadership quality, or the more, you're in your feminine energy, but allowing your own divine masculine energy to take any necessary actions or steps or initiations that you need to make in life, because that masculine energy is more the initiation, feminine energy is more the receptive, or to be able to say yes or no to whatever it is that you're looking to receive. So we have next Versha. Let's get Versha a card. My chat just jumped. If you're just joining us, put by Wrigley's terms a 6-7. What? What?
This.
6-7. Okay.
It might be backwards.
It's probably backwards because we're using the phone. Okay. So if you're just joining us, put a 6-7 in the chat,
Now it's upside down.
or the number 67.
Either one would.
Okay, so Versha.
I am. It's me what asked.
He is, how old are you?
I'm 11 now.
He's going into 6th grade
Yeah.
as of next school year. So
Jump.
yes, Versha. My chat just jumped, so I have to go back up. Okay, Versha, there we are. All right, Wrigley's gonna pull. Uh-oh,
Oh, that's right.
it's right there.
That's okay.
Apologies, you guys. We have everyone home. If you're just joining us, it's a little chaotic today compared to normal. Okay, here we go for Versha.
This one. I'll pick 3.
Okay, there's 2 that came out. Okay. So we're starting out with the green dragon. This also came out on Wednesday, so we're having a lot of repeats. Helps you tune into the secrets of nature, receive answers and guidance from nature, and that includes all nature spirits or guardians of nature and the earth,
We got.
and align with your divine essence. I love that.
So we got this one. I think it means enables your life to flow with loving force. So like, yeah.
Flow with loving force.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Fire and water dragon. So you have an earth dragon and a fire and water dragon. The only thing missing here is air. So to me, that's like any kind of internal or external communication that needs to happen is kind of what's missing here. And that's not a bad thing. That just means maybe you're being a little more contemplative, a little more quiet. But at the same time, I do see you being able to get really easy downloads at this time. But the fire and water dragon says enables your life to flow with loving force. as I know what you're currently going through, loving force. It may feel a little bit intense, but it's from a loving place. You wanting to make these upgrades, these shifts, these levels up, these changes is actually going to benefit you, even if it feels a little tender right now. Prepare for change and to move forward quickly. Expect the unexpected and have fun. That was for Versha. All right, up next we have Brianna.
Brianna, is
Right
that the
here.
one that said you?
He does probably, of my kids, look the most like me of both of them, for sure. My oldest looks exactly like, uh, my father-in-law, his grandpa, so, like twins. Alright. Wrigley tie-dyed his own shirt on Monday at school? Or was that Tuesday?
That was Thursday. No, I mean
Yesterday was Thursday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, it was
It was
Wednesday.
Wednesday. You guys
I
like
should
it?
wear my tie-dye. What was I thinking?
You guys like it? You think?
I do. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
It reminds me of the earth, blue and green. Anywho, we're getting into Brianna now, I think. I think she's the next one. Make sure I didn't skip anyone. Da-da-da. Aw, lots of love for Wrigley. He is a bright boy. He really is.
No.
No. He's all, no. Yes, you are. Yeah, middle and high school. Geez, you are a loud child. Oh, I guess I'm wearing this. Soda light bracelet. Um, let's see. Oh, you don't hear anything. That's good.
Look,
Good.
match.
Now you're matching. Okay. Yeah, pictures. So I was sending those to my mom last night just to kind of recap the day for her, and it showed like edit with AI, and you could do like anime, cartoon, watercolor.
It was on Messenger.
It was on Facebook Messenger, and it was only on photos I'd already sent that I saw that was like an option, kind of just along the bottom if you clicked on the photo to like enhance it to bring it up as like the full screen. That's how I unlocked that. I had no idea because I've seen it at the bottom before. Well, he's like, "Ooh, what does that do?" And of course, Mr. Curiosity over here, because I see the word AI and I usually just skip right over it. But he's like, "Ooh, what's that?" So we clicked on it, and then we had fun for like 20 minutes converting different photos.
Like this.
That's a 6-7.
Oh, that's like.
He'll show you, and then we're gonna get into Brianna's.
Well, these are the pictures. Look, ew. I don't want.
I like the more anime looking. There, show him that
Yeah,
one.
I like this one.
I think that one's cute.
I hate this one.
It's like, yeah, it's like the 3D, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like
This
that.
one's really cool.
That one's kind of cool. It reminds me of like magazines or something.
Then we got this one.
That's illustration,
Yeah.
which I thought was cool. And then there was one called, oh, I thought that one was super cute.
This is me walking.
He wore his duck costume to the last day of school.
This is my school right here.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
All right, let's move on. You can show them your friends.
Yeah, we stayed there all night.
No, they didn't.
Yes, we
You
did.
did not. Okay, here we go.
No, she wasn't there.
I literally took the photo. We're just repeating ourselves. Okay, draw Brianna's card.
Brianna's gonna have a good card like this card.
Oh, he says she's gonna have a good card. She usually does. Like, let's be
Well,
honest. Ooh, Archangel Gabriel's dragon. And of course, you know, use these more as archetypes rather than actual deities that you're working with because most of them are AI archons and you just don't want to mess with that. It's not fun. So it says brings purification, and that's kind of like this alchemy that we've been talking about. I'm a double rabbit. This is this alchemy that we've been talking about for a hot minute for you, Brianna. Self-discipline will speed ascension and bring joy. You can carry Archangel Gabriel's diamond, or just, you know, embody your own diamond vibe, diamond energy. However that resonates most for you. But I love the like white diamond energy of this card. It's really beautiful. So the color white just might be a very big power color, like clear quartz crystal, you know, they kind of almost give off like a white color, especially if there's they're not like a clear, like heavy clarity. Or I think like opal has some white in it, moonstone, thinking of other white crystals. Selenite, obviously.
Quartz.
See, he wasn't paying attention. That's what we already said. But yes, Brianna. She says, wow, wow, wow. Yep. Call it, Wrigley. I just got my first diamond. Okay. Well, literal diamonds as well are kind of that clear or white energy. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, that's like the back. Oh, that's hilarious. This is like a hospital bed for Playmobil.
Yeah,
Why it's up here, I don't know.
playing with that.
But that's funny because it's like either the front or back legs of a funeral cot. So Purva Bhadrapada or Uttara Bhadrapada, which both fall in the sign of Pisces. So there's Pisces energy falling into your reading as well, Brianna, before we close that out. I love that. You never know what you're gonna get. Literally. Everything's a sign, everything's a symbol.
Okay, so let's look up. This is my new card.
And it doesn't mean anything bad. They are some of the most spiritual nakshatras that exist in all of the nakshatras. My Venus is in Purva Bhadrapada, the very 0 degree of Pisces, per Vedic astrology. All right, let's get into the next. Let's get into the next. All right, we did Brianna's. Let's see. Ooh, nationals is tomorrow. Ooh, I hope that helps her tomorrow. She also closed a huge chapter of elementary school. Oh, Gummy Bear's here. Oh no, that's not Gummy Bear. That's what's his name? What'd you name that guy?
Oh,
It's a Highland cow duck. We all know Wrigley loves his ducks. But he's branching out. He got that one for Easter. It's a Highland cow. Very fun. Okay, what's next? What's next? Yep, Kashvi has to go. Big day tomorrow. We are wishing you so much luck. Wish her
Yeah.
really good luck.
yeah.
She's like a math whiz. Like she's competing at nationals for math stuff.
Oh,
You love math.
I know someone who like really good at math.
Yeah.
Could say hi to them and I'll give
Okay.
you
Are you all done?
No.
You gonna go hang out somewhere else now?
No.
Anywho, let's see.
I tipped him you got all the good luck. He's like,
Okay. That's cool. All right. Let's see if there's any more six. Okay, if you would like a card before we close out, put the number 67, or as Wrigley likes to say. Oh my Yikes. Okay, we're good. We're back. That was you. Thank goodness you only knocked over my water and not my coffee.
You told me to do it.
Well, I thought you'd put the thing down rather than just let it fall all over our cards and our beverage station. Oh, apparently that was good luck for Kashvi, hopefully. Yes. Okay. Oh, Ethan's here. Let's get Ethan a card. And anyone else that's just joining us, put a 6-7 in the chat. I did not choose the secret password today. That was all Wrigley, so you can blame him. Okay. Ethan, let's get Ethan a card.
Good.
Bersha says, I love it, Wrigley. I studied tie-dye when I was in college for 3 years. I made a few items for myself. It's so fun. Like, just knowing all the different cool designs you can get and everything. And colors, and the way the colors mix and match. Like, so fun. Are you gonna pull Ethan's card, or am I gonna do it?
Yeah, you know what's that? I'm gonna do it.
He's gonna, but he says 1 second. But he's holding up the line. Yeah, I know his duck costume is super cute. Yeah, he always has fun with that. I think he wasn't that for Halloween this year, but last year. So when he wore it to school, you can kind of see his ankles because he's grown quite a bit. Hurry up.
Wait, you mean this?
Can you just pick a card real quick and then you can put that on?
So this really easy to put on.
He's putting his costume on. I'm gonna pick Ethan's card.
No.
Then here, just grab it off camera and hurry up.
This one.
Okay. Thank you. All right, he picked this one. So what do we have? We have Thor's black, red, and gold dragon once again protects you in times of change. So this is for Ethan. A time of rapid transition, transformation. Relax, you are safe. So correct me if I'm wrong, Ethan. You might have just wrapped up a semester of college, or you're in a transition with work or something like that, is really what this is saying. And it's saying in these transitionary times or times of change for you that you're safe, you're protected, everything's going to work out in divine order, in your highest good is really what's coming through. I love it. Yep, his duck costume is super cute, and he had to go find it and put it on. Let's fix it so you actually can see it properly. There we go. Very cute. Now you look like you're 7 years old instead of 11. What's all over it? Oh, grass. You were pieces of grass and schoolyard debris. Oh my gosh. Anywho, oh, you've been seeing butterflies like crazy. Oh my god, the theme in my life has been transforming or transformation. Yeah, there you go. This is just good validation that you're even yuck. Even in these times of clearing and transition that you are on the right.
This card.
All right.
This card.
Oh, is this for Ethan?
Yeah.
Okay, ladder, climbing towards success.
6 of them.
Of course. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Wrigley. Thank you, Ethan. All right. Anyone else just joining us? Canary! Hello, Canary. It's been a minute since I've seen you. Wrigley says hi. I hope you can hear his voice. I think I talk a little bit louder just because I'm like, I hope the microphone's picking me up and then people can adjust their volumes accordingly.
Can you guys hear me?
But I'm trying to cover up all the background noise as well. So, oh, so this is for Canary and whatever else Wrigley wants to pull. We have Fire and Water Dragon enables your life flow.
Which one?
Oh, life to flow with loving force.
Which one do you want?
Prepare for change and move forward quickly. Expect the unexpected and have fun. So similar to Ethan's.
Which one do you want?
You pick.
My pick?
Yeah, just pick one.
But
Canary gets 2 cards.
she's
Yeah, things are working out for you, Ethan.
Hmm.
Oh, you can hear him. Good. He kind of speaks quietly sometimes and then loudly at other times.
This is sick.
He said this is sick, if you didn't hear.
Oh,
Fire and Lilac Dragon.
did not.
Okay, so Canary, you get 3 because Wrigley was really feeling generous. Lilac Fire Dragon transmutes through the power. The generistist? Is that a real word?
No.
Okay. So transmutes through power of divine love. So bringing in that unconditional divine love. Open up to the transcendent love and enlightenment. Purity of heart brings peace, hope, and joy. But I am hearing for you, Canary, just because it's unconditional love doesn't mean you need to put up with abuse or abusive people or people who are looking to get or gain something from you in exchange for something, like that very transactional kind of love or way people show up maybe at work or in your life. They don't get a free pass just because, oh, I'm an unconditionally loving person. This is about having firm boundaries and still being able to love them without them, being able to take advantage of you. For some reason, this is really highlighting your work or work life or future in your work life. And then we also have the dark blue galactic dragon, and this one's very special to me recently for the Judy reading. Remember that lady that was doing the reading and she said Judy? This was the card she pulled. Remember that reading I told you about? Oh my gosh, he doesn't care.
Can I go now?
Yes, you can go.
Goodbye.
But put your cow away. Everybody say goodbye to Wrigley. He's leaving.
Say goodbye, my cow.
We're gonna finish Canary's reading here.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Wrigley. All right, keep the dogs quiet, please, Wrigley. Okay. I'm gonna get a little more comfortable. We'll finish Canary's reading, and then I probably have time for one more. If you're just joining us, put a 67. Jeez. 67 or 67 in the chat, and we will take care of you. I don't think we have any donations today yet that I know of.
Yeah.
So we might be finished right after this. Let's see. Let me just double check. Okay. So, Canary, let's finish up yours because it's been very chaotic ending here with Wrigley. Okay. Bye. Latch that so if the dogs do come up here, they don't run in there. Oh my gosh, it's so loud. I apologize, you guys. So the dark blue galactic dragon helps you listen to the voice of the universe. I can hardly read this in reverse from how far back I'm standing, as I'm like arm's length away. Okay, ignite the codes of your master blueprint and access the cosmic wisdom and enter higher service. So this is not just like, ooh, life is just getting good for no reason. Canary, this is just good past life stuff or just stuff that you have embedded in or encoded into your DNA. I apologize for my dog. But there's like she's giving like a warning, like in a good way, like announcement. Some good stuff's coming through, Canary. So exciting stuff. Oh, Pearl James. James Sarah. Oh my gosh. Pearl James Sarah. I think I'm seeing this correctly. Apologies. Let's get you a card, my dear. Welcome, welcome. You're new here. Well, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. We do a lot of fun things over here. Today's a bit chaotic, so if you think this is what we normally do, it's not. We usually get real calm, cool, and collected and really do some deep dives and get connected to spirit. But today we're just having a little bit of fun. Yesterday was the last day of school. Kids are home. Dogs are crazy. All the fun things. Oh, well, welcome, Gracie. It's good to see you. Let's get you a card. We have 2 that want to come out, so we're going to get you 2. Okay, so we have the gold, diamond and silver. Look at all that like light-colored, light-filled energy coming through for you, Gracie. We have the Archangel Gabriel's dragon brings purification, self-discipline will speed ascension and bring joy. You carry Archangel Gabriel's diamond, or just, that diamond frequency of true spirit is really what's coming through. And then we have the silver lunar dragon, bathes you in divine feminine light. Come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. Expand your causal chakra. So, this is very much divine feminine energy. This is about instead of pushing forward to make things happen, um, this is about having the self discipline to kind of almost download what your next steps are through daydreaming or journaling or just maybe dreams that you're having that you're like, hey, that sounds really fun. I think I could do that. And then you're starting to, one of the first steps to kind of solidify these things is to write these ideas down in a place where it feels private, like no one's gonna, no algorithm or AI is gonna scan it or anything like that. Oh, this deck is called the Dragon Oracle Cards by Diana Cooper. It's a very powerful deck. I love it. Oh, yes, I think Versha just texted me. Let's see. Oh, did I miss somebody? Let me know if I missed somebody. I don't know if I did. I missed a free card pull ask. Okay. Um, so let me know. But anyway, um, there are some big changes you want to make, and especially with this card, with the self-discipline, this will speed you up. And it almost feels like you want to have like this like mental game plan that you're kind of writing down and then starting to take action. But once you have that self-discipline to show up for your dreams every day, that's when things are really going to change and shift for you, Gracie. So that's so exciting. And we have a huge bee here. Did you see it? It was huge. Hopefully it will. The bees will like come in through the downstairs door and then they'll like think they can escape through these two windows up here and then they'll just fly around. It's one of those like black bees. It doesn't have yellow on it, but I don't want to open this. I don't like those. I don't like them. Let me let it out real quick. I'll just open this window. Maybe it'll find its way out when it bumps up on the window. Who knows? If not, we'll roll with it. But bees, I think it went by my head. I'm not normally afraid of bees, but like certain wasps and stuff, when they sting, it really hurts. So maybe you're being cautious to things going on around you as you're making your plan, Gracie. Oh, not sure if they're around. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, let's just do that anyway. I do apologize that I accidentally I don't ever purposely skip people, so just know that. Just know my heart's in the right place. Okay. So let's get for Honda Pope. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Let's get your card, my dear. Oh, that's fantastic news. Thank you very much. I was just talking to a mutual friend about another friend she's worried might be having me on a bit. Oh, or so. Yeah, I'll take note. Yeah, just trust your intuition. And, sometimes giving people the benefit of the doubt is nice, but when you just kind of intuitively feel that someone's like trying to maybe be really close to you to get information or something, just use your discernment, and you can always tell someone later, like, oh, sorry, I was kind of on alert, or, if you feel the need to explain why. And usually you don't have to. But anywho, let's get Honda Pope a card. And this one wants to come out right here. Silver Lunar Dragon is coming out again. So it says, bathes you in divine feminine light, come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation, expand your causal chakra. So this is a card mostly for you specifically, talking about you being able to feel more balanced. Like if life has been really out of balance, meaning like you've been working a lot and then your self-care has fallen down, or maybe you've been, as they say, bed rotting and you haven't been getting things done. This is just, just as examples. This is just about finding a good balance and not just like work and life, but like spending time with others, spending time with yourself. That's something that a lot of people get out of balance with is, you're at work all day and then, or, if you're at school or, you're just out at different community events and then you're spending so much time outside of, just being on, turned on, not like that, but like you're on, you're peppy, you're out there. But sometimes it's just nice to let all the masks and guards down and just be in your own energy without having to show up or perform or, so however that balance has been a little bit off for you, Rehonda Pope, let me just say that you will find this balance and you will be able to even get that rest or recuperation if things have been really busy and feeling a bit chaotic. even just mentally chaotic can feel very exhausting. So if you've been feeling that, just know that that's about to balance out. Okay. Hopefully I got everybody. So if you're still hearing me right now and we're live, put a 67 in the chat, or as Wrigley says, 67. And I will pull you a card. Last call. Last call. Okay. Oh, your reading is resonating. I've been into manifesting too. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, if you're new and you're having fun, feel free to subscribe. We do this thing a lot, but usually it's not like I was saying earlier, but people are kind of coming in and out. It's not usually this chaotic. So I do apologize if this is a bit much today. um, yeah. All right. Anyway, I think that was it then. I think we've reached everyone who wanted a card, and hopefully re Honda Pope, or however, if I'm saying the name incorrectly, I do apologize. We do have Jay McDonald's reading, and she did get me her question. Um, so we can jump right into that, and then if Versha wanted to donate, that works for me. Let me go ahead and timestamp for Jay McDonald, and hopefully you can't hear my dog. She's down there like whining and panting, just like literally right below me in the living room. Um, at least she's not like barking. Her bark is so loud. Okay, 3605. Okay. So for Jay McDonald, and the question is, summer is yeah, okay, yeah, summer is a bit crazy as we're trying to wind ourselves down here. Yes, so if you can do my question today or next week would be cool. Question, I pulled the Trickster Coyote card. Um, let's see, read more. Okay. I've pulled a Trickster Coyote card recently. Is there a specific area of my life that the Trickster card is about, like career, love, self, health, friends, etc.? Okay. We're tuning in. Lovely Ladies Tarot. Let's start here. Clear the deck. We have not used this one today. Clearing, clearing, clearing. Okay. So what do we need to know for this Trickster card for Jay McDonald? What does she need to know, especially regarding what specific area of life this Trickster card is about? I'm already seeing like this interwoven energy. So it's almost like, yeah, it may be pertinent to this one specific area of life, but it's somehow still intertwined with other areas of life. So let's see what area of life and then how this message is kind of coming together or forming. Okay, so we have 6 of Swords. This is definitely with something you're doing with communication with someone. So this is like personal connection with someone that you have been in communication with, especially like electronic communication. This is through text, through maybe even physically like on a phone call. No one holds their phone like that. I don't know why I did that. Phone call, text message, maybe emails, back and forth. Um, let's just see what Jay McDonald needs to know about this Trickster card, specifically in communication with someone. Okay. Oh, we have another throat chakra energy here, or is this? Yeah, this is throat chakra. We have the blue outline here. Um, Despondence. And this is just someone, it's what I'm seeing is like a brick wall. It's like you're saying something, but this person is purposely choosing to misunderstand or misinterpret what it is you're saying. And you're coming from the heart when you're saying this, or just how you're showing up. If it's not like physical words, it's just kind of your presence with this specific person. Um, that they're like purposely working overtime to misunderstand the words that are coming out of your mouth. um, and they're not doing this from a malicious place. It just feels this is very interesting because these are two extreme opposites here. This one kind of fell into my hands if I'm remembering correctly, but this one fell to the floor and I had to pick it up. But it's giving Libra energy, having to balance, and Libra does deal with like love life. Um with soulmate, I mean soulmates don't just have to be your significant other, but in this case it can, again, if it is your significant other, this is somehow leaking into communication maybe with other people in your life as well. But this person is not acting maliciously. They're just, this feels like a cycle that you keep hitting, or like a brick wall that you keep hitting with this person that just keeps coming back, 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 back. And that's where the trickster energy comes in. Let's see specifically why, because trickster, you think, oh, this is like purely negative. And yes, it is pretty negative when you get a trickster card. Um, but this is what I'm really seeing with this, Joni, is the fact that this person isn't from their spirit acting in these ways. It's like the matrix or the archons, the tricksters, that kind of the false matrix of this planet, the grid that's been slapped over this planet, is utilizing these people that you love and that love you to misunderstand you or to just not get it in some regard. Um, Especially with the communication factor. Like, there's something going on. It's not that this person's bad or that they're purposely trying to misunderstand you, but they are actively misunderstanding you because of this trickster energy. And again, anytime that trickster energy comes in, automatically it's like matrix tricksters. Like, that's what I always say anyway. Um Let's put these ones back. Let's get a couple more tarot just to see how you can deal with this moving forward. I'm already seeing like cord removal, just being able to remove anything that is not in your highest good. And people sometimes misunderstand cord removal with relationships or connections as like, oh, if I remove cords, I'm cutting them out of my life. That's not how that works, because the instant you think about that person, a whole new cord is created. It's actually good maintenance in relationships to actually clear cords very regularly to just keep the channels flowing and keep the energy kosher, not letting it gum up with matrix tricksters. So if there's a specific person that's really dinging in your intuition, whether that is your significant other or someone else who feels like a significant person in your life, we have two that fell to the floor. So this is slippery energy. Whatever this is, oh, we have 2 nines. Nines are kind of that last number before we start over at 1. Cycles of completion, and specifically that 9 of wands is like you're so close to the finish line. I always call this my Olympic athlete card, and it may have felt like you've had to be an Olympic athlete to try to find all the, ways to communicate to this person or to get through to this person or to be on the same wavelength as this person. They're just not getting it. Um, your hard work will pay off. They will finally kind of start to understand, especially if you can remove. I always say, instead of like cutting cords or whatever, remove them by the roots. But first, before you do that, I always say, call all of your power back. Call all of that power back that they have siphoned or taken from you, and then return anything that you may have accidentally or purposely. But I see more, if it's anything, it's accidental in your case, Joni. Just return to sender anything that you've accidentally taken from them. And then once you feel that the energy exchange is back where it needs to be, you can call in your own true spirit to cleanse and alchemize that energy, because it may have some of their nuance on it. Cleanse and clear that energy, and then remove the cord from you first and then them. And then just picture that cord either dissolving or going into the sacred fire of source. And then you can call your spirit in to fill in all the places the little roots of those cords were in, to reclaim that space. And then you can return all of that energy that's now alchemized and cleansed and cleared back into your energy field. It feels like a lot of work, but the more you kind of use this as like a daily to weekly to monthly practice, um, like when I do this, like I can clear that energy usually in 30 seconds. Like I have my system, I have my way, and kind of my little cheat code to like do what I need to do. Because in quantum time, like things can happen like that. In real time, it usually takes more time. But hopefully that helps clear the energy of communication, specifically with one soulmate connection in your life, someone that you love a lot and they love you a lot. But just, the Matrix uses the people in our lives that we love the most to hurt us the most. That's how that works. Um, so clearing that energy can definitely help. Um, and anyone listening to my words right now, this can apply to all of you. I mean, this is just general, basic human operation knowledge at this point that's been hidden from us. All right. Versha has donated, but Joni, I hope that resonated for you, my dear. Let's go ahead and move over to Versha's question. Okay. So email, let me pull that up. Versha, we have something going on out here in the cul-de-sac. Someone with a trailer was parked across the street earlier today, and now they're like on my side of the street by the kids' basketball hoop. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully my dogs, that's why I think my dogs are like panting and whining down there. And by dogs, I mean Ruth. It's not Arthur. Okay, it's in PayPal. Perfect. So, any energy of love, as I feel heartbroken, grief, and deep pain coming up for clearing, would love some supportive energy as I am bringing on this purge on purpose. Maybe follow up on the free cards from Dragons. Any message of support for breakthrough. Perfect. Okay. I'm really being called to go to the oh gosh, what's this one called? I'm just blanking on it right now. This isn't Brit's third eye tarot. Ugh. Sorry, I don't have the box for it here. But we're gonna use this deck. Why I'm blanking on it, I don't know. Maybe it is Brit's Third Eye Tarot. No, that's a different one. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, Delos, the Delos Tarot. That's what it's called. Okay. Sometimes I forget to say what deck I'm using, but I like to say that just in case someone loves that deck and wants to go get it. I don't get any affiliation money or anything. I just like to help out if someone really is like, "Oh, I love that deck." But this Dragon Oracle is really fun. This is one we use for our free one card pulls today. Love it. All right. For Versha, this energy of heartbreak, let's just see. Okay, yeah. Look at that. Look at all this that you're bringing up to clear. Ooh, I love that. I love that. Oh, it was a diamond. It was from this deck. It was diamond, something diamond dragon of Archangel Gabriel. I think it was. Let me see. See if I can find it quickly. Oh, yes. Archangels Gabriel's dragon. No, yes. That was it. That's it, Brianna, if you want a screenshot. Anywho, hope that helps. You're so welcome, my dear. Okay, so Versha, this is working. It's working. It's working. I feel like Mariah Carey. It's time. No, it's working. You're bringing up a lot of stuff that just felt completely unfair, completely where you were just the throat, like taken aback, like just like desperately, like jaw on the floor, deep gasp, like how could you do this to me? And this actually feels like energy from a past life that you carried into this life that you are actively clearing right now. What else does Versha need to know? Ooh, this one flipped, so it wants to come out in reverse. So this was an offer. This is a soul contract that started out seemingly fine. Seemingly there was a deep emotional connection, or at least a enough of an emotional connection that you thought, okay, in time we can deepen this connection, that as of today, right now, you're like, no way. Like, this contract is done. This is over. I'm out of it. Like, they're out of it. They're out of their mind. We have a duck showing up. So, duck symbolism. What?
Look what I found.
Oh, he found us live. Cool. So, he's watching the live stream from the other room rather than participating in this room, I guess. Uh, but yes, it's like you're dumping out whatever it was that you were contracted. But that's the thing about soul contracts. People think, well, I'm in a soul contract, so like I got to honor it to the bitter end. It's like, no. Once you realize, okay, this is a contract, that doesn't negate everything that you went through with that person or that situation or that, sometimes we even are contracted into certain jobs, like we literally sign a contract to start a job or something, but there are like spiritual contracts that I have to step into this horrible job and like help these people because like just me working there might have been the catalyst to change someone else's life. Like you just never know. So just because you've signed a contract for work, a soul contract before you came in this incarnation, doesn't mean that contract is forever. You can null and void that contract. And usually when you realize something's a contract, that's when the contract has served its purpose. You won't realize something's a contract until it's time to be done with it, unless you find a new way to sign a new. It's not like you have to like get out a pen and write this out, but like spiritually and energetically speaking, signing a new contract or showing up in a different way in that job, that relationship, that whatever it is. So you're realizing that, okay, this is done for me, and being able to move forward from that. On the back of the deck, I did see this before I set it down and I felt it was very important. So this may have to do with S and just clarity that you've received just by you really stepping into who you are and what it is you're here to do, and all those contracts that kind of felt like heavy burdens of karma for you that you're now ready to clear. Even if you can't physically clear them, you're spiritually, emotionally, mentally, etherically clearing these contracts. And as we know, the physical is usually the last place these things dissolve and dissipate. So you're doing the heavy lifting now. You're doing the work now to set yourself up to be able to clear those karmas, clear those slates, clear those decks. And this is not because you did something wrong in a past life. That's not what I mean by clearing karma. It's just that karma is a lot of times kind of, it's what the false matrix uses to keep us in this wheel of reincarnating. But us as true spirits, we actually use the system of karma to our advantage. I mean, it doesn't feel like to our advantage when we are living it, but when we're still disincarnated on, or just kind of like in our true form on the other side or with source, we will use the false grid karma to kind of sneak in to the matrix, if that makes sense. And that's what you did, Versha. It's not like you did something horrible to someone in a past life and now you have to pay for it. That is not why you are personally. Some others may be sure, but not you. Not you. That's not what you're doing. That's not what you're here for. You're clearing this karma that your own spirit put on you to put you through the paces to really learn these lessons, to see the extreme duality of you and the other, meaning in this place or case, the seventh house of partner, um, for you to like know without a shadow, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you that doesn't resonate anymore. It may have once resonated and, there may be beautiful moments, but that doesn't mean you have to continue on in this energy as like a sacrifice to your own spirit. Like hell no. Hell no. Um oh, I'm late today. Was there a collective at the beginning? We did a free one card poll and I may have time at the very end to do more, Marlene. And I think Versha's our last donation right now, so it might be very soon. So stand by. You might be getting a free card today. um, yes. So I was watching Wednesday's live. That's why I didn't notice this one. Oh no, that's okay. Yeah. Since the interaction I had on the deeper acceptance of everything and all of it, and then ended up with this headache. Oh, I'm so done with that BS. Eons of lifetimes here. I am done with their so-called karma. Amen. Absolutely. Same here. Yes, we have been extremely off resonance. It hit me hard in the heart as a dagger. It manifests as physical pain, especially when we're living out of alignment or trying to honor contracts that should be going away. It literally manifests as physical ailments, physical pain. Like you can't avoid it, because once your spirit and your like conscious mind wake up to things, you can't stay in that energy for too crazy long, or you literally can't live anymore. Like you can't continue in the same physical suit, meat suit. But usually if you can't detonate those towers from the internal, they'll start to be detonated from outside of you through outside circumstances like job losses, or, you know, when I was a kid, like, I guess something had to happen where my house burned down. Like, hopefully it's not that extreme, but it's usually a lot easier when we kind of self detonate these towers rather than, well, if you're not going to do the work to clear these contracts, then the universe will have to step in and clear these contracts for you. And that is usually less empowering than you just saying, okay, this doesn't resonate anymore. I need to do something different, or I need to make a change. I need to move on, whatever the case may be. And usually when we fight fight against these things, especially when we're worried about like what other people are going to say, or what are they going to think of me? What if I lose my title, my status, my home, whatever the case may be, just using my own example of my house fire. Um and just how devastating that is, but we always come back, and I just heard that we always build back better, whatever the case may be, because we don't leave that horrible situation without the wisdom of said horrible situation, you know. Yeah. We have become extremely off resonance. It hit me hard in the heart as a dagger. Yeah. He came up to me calling me abusive and cursing him, uh because I'm asking him to be responsible for himself, our family, and our daughter, calling me a hypocrite, guru, and high priestesses. Again, usually when people are hurt, they will just project their own pain onto you, and you can the best approach is, it's called gray rock. Just become as interesting as a gray rock. You know, it feels to the other person like you're like cold and calculating, but you're literally just protecting yourself without adding and feeding into the drama. And that's where you're at right now is, you know, you can love him from that spiritual place, but that doesn't mean you have to put up with that abuse that he's putting toward you, that is physically manifesting in your body. You don't have to keep putting up with that, Versha. So let's get a just helpful, especially because most of this is probably happening around the home. Let's get a home fortune reading card. Anything Versha needs to know, advice, wisdom, guidance, and then we'll get a clarifier on the dragon as well. Nursery room. Interesting. So this is about reclaiming your innocence. Let's just kind of cut him out of the equation for now. This is about you reclaiming your innocence, your curiosity, your purity. So view challenges through the innocent eyes of childhood to break through current limits. And this, I can't help but just see all that inner child work that you've done is going to benefit. So let's see, as far as the breakthrough goes. breakthrough. Any breakthrough. Oh, yelling, "You are a con woman," pretending to be an evolved one, pretending to be God. And then after 10 minutes, I tried to make up, but I said, "No more. I've had enough." Yeah. And especially when you have the things that you've shared through vulnerability thrown back in your face, that hurts a lot. Um, so the best thing you can do is just try to realize he does not understand. This is very similar to what we were getting with Jay McDonald, with her message. So if that message resonated for you at all, Versha, you can go back to her reading as well. Um, a lot of times the Matrix will use the people that are very caught in the Matrix to actively, purposely misunderstand us. Even though the person themselves isn't trying to do that, the Matrix is using them to clearly, purposely misunderstand you or just not allow the person you're trying to show your vulnerability in your heart to, they just do not have the capacity because the matrix is blocking it from even allowing you to make connection or contact with this person. Well, for guidance, we have determination and we have a cheetah or a leopard. I'm not sure which. I think their spots are different. So looking at the spots, you if you want to do some homework and look up which cat this is, but it's very Lyran energy, right? Your roots, your home roots. Um, but there's a breakthrough coming through you just being determined not to try to double down and over explain or prove yourself to him in any way, almost just leaving him out of the equation and taking care of yourself, pouring into yourself. Um, if he has issues with what you're doing, you can yeah, a lot of it is mind games, mental tricks, mental games, matrix, right? Um and this is like those almost remind me of those nesting dolls. But the top of the head is missing. So he doesn't have the crown connection that you do to understand things in this multidimensional way that you do. And because you do, you can almost step out of the line of drama and just either it's not that you're out of the box creating the drama, but if he's out of the box creating the drama, you don't have to I'm seeing like a tennis match. You don't have to return the ball to his side. You can just let it go out of bounds and just take the point. And it's not about, oh, he's winning, I'm losing, he's losing, I'm winning. That's not what this is about. That's what the Matrix wants us to do is to be in these frictions with the people we love. Is like, I won that argument. I won that whatever. Like when you're on this more spiritual path, that completely goes out of our even like area of thinking. Like we don't even think, oh, I won that argument. Like that doesn't even cross our minds, but that's very much how this matrix energy operates is I won. Well, did you irrevocably damage your relationship by winning that argument? Was it worth it? Like like that's what this is giving, especially with him and the way he attacks you with things that you've shared with him. They came in as I invited help, like you suggested in the last oh, I have two companion cats in my energy field. Aw. And maybe that's why the dragons have stepped back. Not like they've gone away. I still very much feel them, but they're more on the periphery for you. But I do feel it's because they wanted to not scare off this Lyran energy. Um, because even to outside, very spiritual forces, the dragon energy can be very intimidating because they are very protective. Oh, I have chills. They're very protective not only of this earth realm, but of Earth's spiritual inhabitants, including the nature spirits and the earth and the fire and the water and the air and the humanity and the animals. I've chills even all the way down my arm. I don't know if you guys probably can't see that, but um, on the left side. So this is those dragons having to step massively into their divine masculine energy to protect. And they realized that these Lyran guides or guardians, I like to call them guardians because to me, guides is so new age spirit guides. Um, but these guardians from Lyra want to step in and help through these times as well. But there was maybe a bit of intimidation or not wanting to like override what was going on with dragons. So the dragons took that as a way to step back. And I just dropped like half the deck. Let's pick up the three that are kind of standing out to me. We have work with the B, intellect with kind of the two-faced or dual energy going on here, and relationships. Oh, and growth also wants to come. But growth in your case, Versha, with S, does not mean that you're growing through these issues. It means you're growing out of even having the gall to want to put up with these issues anymore. And then all the things he's put you through, it's almost like that China, no, Japanese art form where they will, instead of just gluing a vase or a bowl that has fallen and cracked and broken back together with glue or whatever, they use gold to fuse it back together stronger than ever. And then I'm reminded of that quote now too, Versha. Um, Wherever the cracks are, that's where the light comes in. And that's where many of us, earth angels, light workers, whatever you want to call it, your star seeds, whatever you want to call yourself or label. I'm kind of just down with not labeling anything anymore at this point. But, sometimes we have to label it to kind of conceptualize or understand what it is we're trying to talk about. Even if we're just using it for conceptualization's sake. Um, but we have a hard time just not continuing and continuing and continuing to pour from ourselves, even though we're being, it's like we're that Japanese vase that keeps getting thrown off the shelf every time there's this argument or this tension or whatever. And then instead of being put back together, it's just more cracks, more fractals are coming, like, spirit fractals or fractures coming off, coming off, coming off. And that's going to be seemingly much more difficult to glue back together or to put back together with gold than if it were just one big chunk that was taken out and then put back into the vase with gold. Yeah, molded with gold. Dragons protect the gold frequency that we are inherently. Absolutely. So hopefully all this came full circle and is making sense for you. It's all just coming through. I feel like we need one more, maybe two more tea leaves to close this out. Specifically with that dragon message you got earlier, it was everything but air, if I remember correctly, because we had the green for earth and then we had the fire and water dragon for you. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think that's what you had in our one card pull. But let's just get some couple cards to clarify those energies. Anything else Bersha needs to know about those energies? Ah, her migraine is killing her. Maybe that's why the air was missing, because the air element does represent that communication, that kind of throat and kind of higher chakras there, that blue energy. So I'm seeing this healing blue energy calling that in. But that's why your reading didn't want to give you any additional air energy, because you've already got a lot of that going on. So it's almost like allowing that pressure valve of air energy to just kind of calling it up and out. All right. Clarification on the dragon cards Versha got. Anything else? We have two. So we have wreath with sorrow over a loss. And then we have crib with birth, conception of a child, or enterprise. So, I mean, the most like logical way that this shows up for you specifically is miscarriage from your past, the miscarriages from your past, and allowing the loss of that. There's another layer while you're doing this cleansing and purging, another layer of that loss that wants to come through to be released and let go. But also the birth or conception of any kind of enterprise, business idea, maybe even future business plans that you're just like, life is so hard just being a person in a household. Like, how am I ever going to create a business? Like, I'm like, me too. Like, I feel the same way. I'm like, just to be a human, just to get my like iron levels up and have the energy to just be a person. But here I am wanting to write an 8 book series and start this Substack and have all this like I want like on my spirit, on my heart, I want to do these things so badly, but then like my mind is like, who do you think you are? You can barely like put your shoes on every day and like get out the door with your hair not looking like a chia pet. Like who do you think you are? But it's like we need to like as Ruth is like loud barking. We need to like quiet the mind that steps in is like, who are you? Because that's not even us. That's not our spirit talking to us. Absolutely it's not. It's the matrix. It's the mind, it's the mental realm, and I do apologize that Ruth is down there barking, but hopefully that helps. My throat was hurting the whole evening and night. I felt Syrian around me. Yeah, there's that air energy again. And then I felt my sacral was healing as the cycles are so difficult, spotting from time of ovulation and strong cramps, and then just 1 day period. What? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is intense. It's very intense to have to go through all that. I like my heart goes out to you. It is not fun to have to deal with all those feminine sacral womb issues at all. I've been there with you and it's horrible. And it's like you don't look like you just look like you are fine and you should just be able to get up and do things, but inside it's like there's a fire burning and you can't like just to move hurts. Like and it's like we almost feel like we have to over explain to the people in our lives like I'm hurting so bad right now. It's like I'm being ripped apart from the inside out or there's a fire burning inside of me that Oh, it's so hard. I'm so sorry, Versha, that is hard. Let's get a final statement. Anything else Versha needs to know? And then we'll pull a few more cards. Today's password was 6-7. Wrigley was on earlier and he was pulling cards. So Marlene, if you're still here, or anyone who did not get a free one card pull earlier, put a 6-7, 67 in the chat, and we will pull you a card. But let's get one closing statement. It's been difficult to even make K or S understand. Yeah, and that's the thing is we're hitting a time right now, and watch, I just as I said that, I said in my mind, I heard Carrie K's probably gonna talk about this next week. So, she obviously hasn't talked about it yet, but it's almost like she's going to say something, and let's watch for this, Versha, it's gonna be fun. To see if she says something about stopping us trying to over explain or trying to get other people to wake up or trying to get people to understand or understand us. She's probably going to mention something about that next week. Let's be on the lookout and see what she says next week about other people misunderstanding us, not hearing us, or us feeling like this need to over explain to try to get someone to understand where we're coming from because it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And that's really sad. And we have to grieve that loss and just realize that we should not have to literally be wasting our air energy to try to get other people on board with what we just know to be true in our spirit. Like we're just going to live from that place of I know this to be true in my spirit. If other people don't get it, that's great. If they do get it, cool. But if they don't, that's not my responsibility or my job to wake them up or shake them up or make them understand or understand. Um Oh, did she already talk about that? Okay, maybe that's what she's talking about. That's it's just so true though. Like it's so true. She may even touch deeper on that next week. I just feel it. Well, we have 6 of swords here. Again, that's Jay McDonald had this as her card that came out to start the trickster card that she got and then that being misunderstood, miscommunication, misunderstanding energy in her reading. So if you want to go back and see if there's anything you can gain from her reading, I'm pretty sure you would have some nuggets of truth in there for you as well. Um but this is about just very much curating. That's the word that's coming through. Curating your communication with S because he's going to work to actively misunderstand you. And especially if you're sharing vulnerably from your heart, trying to get him to feel your vibration, to feel your resonance. He does not have the equipment, spiritually speaking, at this time to even feel you. So you're just not like you're wasting anything. You're not never, it's never a waste. You're learning very clear lessons from this, but just realizing, maybe keeping your communication with him short and sweet and just not maybe sharing things that you once would have with him because he's just going to later twist that and use it against you is really what's coming through here. So just guarding your heart, not in a way where you're closing yourself off, but just realizing that maybe your heart energy can only slightly penetrate what he's got going on and just being okay with that. He has completely misconstrued anything I say. And that is again, the matrix works to with these people in your life to make them actively misunderstand you. And the more you double down to try to get them to see things your way or to see the light or to have empathy for your situation, they will just go so far the other direction. It's not worth your time anymore. But that being said, all that over explaining or trying to get them to see or him specifically in your case to see what you've again had where you're coming from, it wasn't a waste because you've realized okay, there are just certain people you can still speak your truth, but it's from you just speaking your truth to speak your truth for your own benefit, for your own good, not to try to convince someone outside of you that this is the ultimate truth, because they will actively actually go the other direction and work to misunderstand you. Because that's how the false matrix is set up right now, especially as we are kind of crossing times in these eras right now that two world split that Dolores Cannon had talked about ad nauseum for years, that I think the New Age movement took and ran in a different direction with. I see a lot of truth to the foundation of what was coming through in a lot of her transmissions and books and hypnoses with people. But it was misconstrued under this like very New Age lens. But that two world split is very literal. You can see it on social media already. You can see it in your own households already, where there's someone who's very much caught in the matrix game of illusion and then someone who's seen through that and is feeling the call of the new world or the new energy, the new era, the new frequency. And it's not new. It's been there the whole time. It's just that these veils are lifting, or this false matrix is losing its strength to where we can now hear that call. But that's why we've always had spiritual people, even through the most locked down matrix times. We've still had a pocket of spiritual people here or there or everywhere, kind of sprinkled around the planet. But even those spiritual people are waking up even deeper because those veils are lifting, those illusions are lifting in ways that we that are have woken up are just going to further wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, because and people who've been locked down are going to maybe start waking up themselves because those veils are lifting in ways that we have not been able to lift in a very long time, especially over this cross of planning last 412 years or so. They're lifting. It's time. What is time? It's not what we've been told. Yes. All right. So I think we had a couple 6 7s maybe, hopefully. Yes, Amanda. Amanda's here. Welcome, Amanda. Let's get you. We're doing the Dragon Oracle cards by Diana Cooper today. If anyone's interested in knowing what cards we're pulling from. It's kind of got a gold gilding. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but it's really pretty. These are fun cards. Very activating cards. Oh, our duck is back. You wanna say hi? Oh, do you wanna pull Amanda's card?
Amanda?
Yep.
Like Amanda Kiefer Dunn?
No.
Amanda Sue Kiefer Dunn?
No, there's other Amandas in the world,
Really?
especially us millennial Gen X, millennial, and I think a handful of Gen Zers are named Amanda.
We pulled this card today.
Mhm.
Lilac Fire Dragon.
Ooh, the Lilac Fire Dragon. This is for Amanda. Transmutes through the power of divine love. Really beautiful. I love it. And then we have open up to transcendent love and enlightenment. Purity of heart brings peace, hope, and joy. So there's a lot of divine feminine energy here. And that lilac color is almost like a cross between this like diamond white light of true source mixed with like the purple of the crown chakra is what I'm getting. And right as I said that, Amanda, I was looking at my purple astro dice. So let's roll these for you. I don't know. Spirit's been interesting today with the readings. Some people got 3 cards, some people got 1, some people got a dragon card and some tea leaves. Some people, you, Amanda, are getting the astro dice. So we have here the sun. So we have the sun in the 4th house, which is your house of home, mother, your luxury, your deep subconscious mind, your roots, like from your childhood roots. And then we have the sign of Pisces, which is very dreamy, floaty, kind of ethereal, beyond this realm. Um, could have even had to do with especially with 4th house of roots, and then Pisces can look like alcoholism in specifically the father's family line with that sun energy, because sun represents the father. Um, or just the father having this kind of otherworldly worldview. Um, but for some reason, this is really kind of pointing more to, like, on that family side, there was, like, heavy alcoholism potentially. If it wasn't your father, it may have been someone else in his family, um, during your childhood specifically and before your childhood, like, early life and maybe even kind of before you incarnated as well. Um, so yes, that was for Amanda. So let's see. Um So let's get one for oh, you're so welcome. Welcome, memes. I'm not sure how to say your name. Welcome, welcome. Let's get a card and whatever else needs to come through for Marlene. Marlene. All right. Wrigley picked the code, so I apologize. If you're totally over the 6 7 like I am, Wrigley picked it. Ooh, we haven't gotten this one yet today. This is for you, Marlene. The Golden Atlantean Dragon. And it has almost like this aquamarine looking crystal here. It's kinda looking more green than it is in real life. It's more of a bluish, slightly more Tiffany blue than the kinda green that it's kinda showing up on camera. There, that's more true to color. About right there. Anyway, let's read it. So helps you remember the wisdom of the golden Atlantis. Awaken and bring back your knowledge, gifts, and talents and reclaim your mastery. And correct me if I'm wrong, Marlene, on Wednesday's reading, we did tune in that there was some like good past life like gifts, talents, or just knowledge from past life that is going to start showing up or kind of the veil is lifting off of that. And maybe I didn't say it quite like that, but that's how it wants to come through today for you. That you're getting access to these almost hidden talents, hidden gifts, hidden just stuff that you're kind of moving into or stepping into as you kind of uh step into this like mother and like I want to say witch, but it's more like crone energy, like especially like the rest of your I just heard and I hear this from time to time. The rest of your life will be the best of your life, especially with you being able to establish or create a legacy or just what it is that you came here incarnated to do. You're going to be able to finally start doing that because it's like almost like the beginning part of your life almost acted as kind of just you like getting your bearings. Think of you're on a sea voyage or something. You're used to land, but then you're on a sea voyage for a while. Maybe you're on a sea voyage across, back in the day. Maybe this is past life energy leaking through. Um after, maybe at first you're just so seasick and it's so difficult to like find your sea legs, as they say. Um, and then once you find the sea legs and you get used to it and you're like, okay, I kind of understand the lay of the land, no pun intended, because we're at sea. Um, but then once you get to land again, you're like, okay, I can do both. Like I can kind of walk between worlds. So it's almost like you having to gone through, however many years old that you are on this earth that you're like, "Okay, I think I understand just the toxicity and the drama and the duality of all the crazy that goes on this planet. So now, like, what am I here to do? Now that I completely understand that way that this matrix operates and that the veil of this matrix is lifting to where I have more access to my true spirit, my higher authority, which is you. It's not someone else or anything outside of you. It is you. You are that which you seek, that you can start integrating that and bringing that online in your physical reality, financially, spiritually, just the way that you move in this world is going to become elevated in ways that you can't even dream of right now, Marlene. It's beautiful. I felt like a fish out of water most of my life. Most of us that have come here for these more spiritual, higher purposes have felt that way. You know what else is beautiful? What?
Me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad that you're that confident that you can just say that. I don't even think at that age I could have said that and believed it, you know? So, hopefully, he says that, but not in a, like, ego vain way. He is a Leo ascendant, so maybe he does have a bit of ego going on, who knows? I think most of us can completely, like, raise our hand like, "Yes. Have you been personally victimized by Regina George?" Yes, we can all raise our hands, and by, in this case, Regina George from Mean Girls is the Matrix. We've all been personally victimized by Regina George, AKA the Matrix. All right, quick drink of coffee, and then let's do the memesy. Let's get your or however we pronounce your name. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Let's get you a dragon card, my dear. And welcome. I don't think I've seen you before, or if I have, maybe your name has changed since I last saw you and I don't remember you. So apologies. And if you're new here and you're having fun, feel free to subscribe. We do this once to twice a week usually, and I kind of just had a pretty big like iron deficiency, anemia, health scare kind of thing going on. So I was kind of MIA for a month and a half, but I'm back. It's time. I'm back. I don't know why the Mariah Carey "It's time." Isn't that like a Christmas thing? I think that they say that like around Thanksgiving, like all the Mariah Carey memes come out like "It's time," and she gets like really high pitched. Like I didn't even get as high pitched as she does for that like "All I Want for Christmas Is You" song, I think. Anyway, I'm jabbing. Let's go. The memesy. Let's get you a card. Get my chat back up. Oh, I said it correctly. Good. Yay. Air Dragon. There's the one Versha was missing from hers, but she's not missing it because she's got an excess of that air right now. But for you, memesy, we have helps you rise above earthly matters, communicate honestly and bring inspiration and hope and see life from a higher perspective. This is very Ace of Swords energy. I think I always say that when I pull this card. It's just having this like aha moment, this epiphany, this clarity, like, oh my gosh. And especially rising above earthly matters. And in this case, I'm not seeing like healthy earthly, like divine earth. I'm seeing like drama and chaos and social media fights and just like that kind of earthly matters is what's coming up. So there may even be with this air energy, this is about communication. Maybe you're taking some sort of social media detox, or maybe if you're not like fully stepping off social media, you're just kind of unsubscribing or unfollowing people who just don't really vibe with you anymore. And I think even every quarter, meaning like every 3 months or so, it's really healthy for us to do this because, especially if you're on some sort of spiritual path or journey yourself, some of this just worldly, like the economy's in chaos, and politics and just all this stuff that's very Matrix games doesn't, I mean, it applies to us in a way, sure, but like as far as our day-to-day operational reality, it's not us. It's not who we are. It's not what we are interested in seeing. Even if we are a bit curious about what's going on, in the mundane world, it doesn't really apply to our personal lives. So if you are subscribed or following or just seeing things like this in your news feed of whatever social media you may be on. I know in like Facebook especially, there's a thing like if you keep seeing something that you're like, I don't really want to keep seeing this content, you can click on like somewhere in the corner and just say, I don't want to see this, or block this creator, or whatever the case may be. And even if you don't want to block them, just say, I'm not really interested in this exact kind of content. And another way to kind of reshape your algorithm or your feed, if you're just kind of wanting to clean up your news feed for social media, is to search for things that you do want to see. Like, if you're on a spiritual journey, maybe more spiritual topics, or if you're wanting to, get healthy, those health related topics, whatever the case may be for you specifically, memesy. But yeah. Oh, you did that on Facebook this week. I've been meaning to do that on Facebook, but I just instead decided, you know what? I'm just not going to go on Facebook. Like that's where I'm at right now. I I scrolled and scrolled, and I think I scrolled for 30 to 40 different posts before I actually saw someone that was a Facebook friend. All the rest were groups that I'm not even in, that because it said follow or, join or something. Um just random advertisements for blankets because I was looking at a new like more like or totally organic, no polyester type of like bedding and stuff. I'm not ready to bite the bullet on that yet, but like when I am, like my blanket has like my dog, she'll like climb up and she can't quite jump, so sometimes you'll have to like pull her back legs to jump, but she's got these claws that are almost like bear claws that she like puts holes in my blanket that I need to replace soon. But when I do start, that's kind of where I'm at. What I'm getting to is when I am replacing things, I want to replace them with things that are more organic. And maybe they're going to be a little more expensive, probably because they're not full of plastic, but they're going to vibrate better, resonate better with my electromagnetic field of my body, yeah, cotton, linen, uh wool can be tricky with bedding because it can get real hot, and when you're in the perimenopause age that I'm in, you don't need heat at night usually. You're good. You're good with that. Your own heater. But yeah, cotton is really good and breathable. Bamboo, linen, those are kind of the 3 that I'm looking at right now. Again, haven't pulled the trigger. But anyway, I digress. To say basically that yeah, I don't mind seeing ads for that because I'm actually in the market for something like that. Maybe not right now, but soon when my blanket goes kaput, I will be replacing it with something more organically aligned. But yeah, just custom tailoring your social media or um kind of what you're consuming. That could even be like your food, your drink, what you're watching on television. Is this, before you watch a specific type of show or movie, just ask, is this going to raise my vibration or my frequency, or is it going to lower my vibration or my frequency? That can be a good question to ask yourself. And I would say, sadly, just looking at the hero's journey of kind of how story structure is made, there always has to be a villain or a bad guy. Even if it's your own internal villain or bad guy, there's always opposition or duality. There always is in any kind of media. Even the books I'm writing have that. But I have a more, in my book series, a way, and it's not out yet. So yeah, it's not out yet. I have not published yet. I'm going to start publishing next year. So I'm so excited about that. But it's, you have to almost have, because we're literally in this matrix of duality, so you almost, every bit of media is going to have that friction of good versus evil, um hero versus villain, whatever versus whatever, left versus right, it's just how things are. But I'm hopefully, fingers crossed, finding a way to almost transcend that what side are you on battle, that the hero's journey is basically an us versus them. I'm kind of finding a new way forward with story structure. And I have a feeling, this is just my intuitive hat coming on. I have a feeling that a lot of writers and creators, paintings and just ways that we create is going to come from a more just divinely spiritual place. Even if we're using this dualistic lens to tell our stories from, we're going to almost transcend that hero's journey story structure that's been around the last few plus 100 years. And probably it's been the form of stories, even just like, uh, what do they call them? Just verbal stories that have been told, passed down through generations. Probably always had the villain and the hero somehow associated in those fables and stories and fairy tales and what have you. But I think there's going to be a new way forward where we're almost alchemizing this hero's journey. Oh, I have chills. To where, yeah, we can still show the duality of it, but like transcend it in new ways. That's what I'm trying to do. And they say, and this is funny because my book it's the first book that I wrote. And they say, if you're a writer, you need to write that first horrible book and then you need to put it in a drawer and then never look at it again, or never ever publish it. Like your first book should never be like, this is kind of like old school writers advice. But for me, I first wrote this book series as a Sims 2 story series back in 2005, and it's grown and evolved completely beyond what it started as. Like, it's if you had read that back then and read my books now, you wouldn't even know it was the same writer or author or even some of the same characters. But there's also new characters. But that to say that this story that I've wanted to tell that's been on my heart has evolved so much. And Versha has read my book 1. She loved it, I'm glad. Um, but it's evolved so much because I've evolved. I've learned so much. My Sims 2 series started as a complete drama fest soap opera, and now it is something so much more than what it started as, because I actually have things I wanna say from my heart. Not saying I wasn't speaking from my heart back then, but my heart was a very early 20s, had a really hard, rough childhood, very angry lens I was telling those stories from. And now I can see why my parents acted the way they did, or, why I as a child acted the way I did in these circumstances, and just the dynamics of family and family secrets and um, secrets of the world, like the greater secrets. Yeah, I'm absolutely more complex now. Not to say I wasn't complex then. I was a very complex creature as a teenager and early 20s. Like, I had emotions and I had thoughts and I had opinions and I had trauma, like, for sure. But I've now kind of almost seen why. Why did I have this? Why did I have that? Instead of coming from this angry lens of, okay, this is the bad guy in my story and they're going to be the most evil bad guy. Like, now, even my most evil bad guy, like, you can see why. Why is this person evil? Because there's nothing more that I hate than just an evil person that's evil just because they're evil. Like, there's no origin story, or like maybe they were once a good person and now they're evil. Like, I want some depth to my villains, like, for sure. And maybe my main character almost also at times acts as a villain herself. Like, that's just how life is. We can be the villain in someone else's story, But it's not because we want to just twirl our mustache and, like, rub our hands together and be evil just for the sake of being evil. It's usually because we're hurt and we're retaliating, or, we were traumatized and we don't know any way forward that's better. Yeah, time definitely offers wisdom of understanding. Absolutely. And even experience, I would say, going through early childhood bad experiences, early 20s bad experiences, like, really set the stage for me to kind of almost have, like, the cows that are chewing their cud. Like, I have something to really ruminate on, not just like in my mind, but like spiritually. Like, it's almost like simmering in a pot all these years. And now it's finally ready. The story's finally ready to tell, because I now have the actual mature lens to tell these stories through that I could not fathom back when I first told these stories. So thank goodness they've been scrubbed from the internet back then. But anyway, this fell from the deck as we were kind of wrapping up. So I'm going to just consider this like a collective message for everyone else. before we close out our live today, the black dragon from Saturn brings your wisdom through spiritual discipline. We were just talking about that. And Saturn is that mature planet. And it doesn't mature in Vedic astrology. Saturn doesn't mature until you're around age 36. And depending if you have like me, I have Mars that's in the same house. It's not exactly tightly conjunct because my Mars is at 7 degrees of Virgo, and then my and Vedic, I'm talking Vedic placements, and then my Saturn's at 23 degrees Virgo. Um, where it's enough of a conjunction because it's in my 12th house of Virgo together that it's almost like I have one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. So my Saturn is immature, not through like spiritual lens of wisdom, but immature as in the world is not ready for what my Saturn has to say. I'm ready. I've been ready since 36 to say what I have to say, but the world itself is not ready. I'm now 44, so that's what 8 years. 8 years, my Saturn has, on paper, looks mature, but because I have Mars there, the world is not ready for what I have to say yet, but it will be next year. It will be next year. It will be. It's time. Mariah Carey. But it says here, brings you wisdom through spiritual discipline. Concentrate, focus on your ultimate vision. For me, just as this example, my book series that recently, some bit of backstory that I've had in my back pocket for a long minute now is now book 8, which is more of a companion novel because I have 6 books in my main series, but then book 7 you can't read until after the main series, or it's going to spoil the big reveal in book 6. So you have to read book 7 even though it takes place before certain characters are born. You have to read it after, unless you're rereading it, like say, I've published these and you've read them all through, then you can read them in the proper, okay, this happened in 1974, this one happened in 1978, okay, the main series starts in 1993, like you can then read them in order because you already know what's coming. But initially, you're going to read them in the order that I write them in. And book 7 is kind of backstory for a character that's not even one of the main characters in the series, but she's important, we'll say. And then book 8 is, I don't know, do I want to spoil this? We'll just say past life energy in 1955. Or the bulk of the story is taking place in 1955 in book 8. But again, that's going to be the 8th book in line that I write. And I only have kind of the main plot points for that, and I don't know how I'm filling it all together, but that's the beauty part of how I tell my stories is I don't need to know how it ends to get the wheels turning. I just need to know, ooh, I know at some point in the middle this is going to happen, and it's going to be huge and it's going to be crazy. And then by the end, it's all going to make sense. I promise. I hope. I hope. At least that's where I'm coming from. Thank you so much, Memesy. I appreciate that. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to just make that my full-time endeavor. Not to say I'm not doing this anymore. I absolutely am. But this at this point and has for a long time been a part-time endeavor anyway. So it'll still be a part-time endeavor. And I'm actually moving over to Substack soon, not like for good. Like I'll still be live over here from time to time as well. And I'll start my live streams here and then end them up over on Substack because I can go over there and not be censored and not just have random people come in. It'll be people that want to be there and that are there for that very specific wisdom and transmissions and content that I can't put on Facebook. Well, I'm not even on there, but not that I would, but on YouTube because I'm very shadow banned over here and censored in a way that it doesn't make sense for me to just spill it all out over here. And then yes, it's reaching who it's reaching, but it can reach more people that are ready for this knowledge. Again, remember that Saturn I was saying, my Saturn was ready, but the world was not ready for my Saturn. um, yes, that's very much, but it will be soon. But I appreciate the good wishes on that. Thank you so much. All right, let's catch up on some comments and then I'm probably gonna close out today. Yeah, you're looking forward to the next one. I need to get back in there. I think I have my writing group again. They've gone to my writing group 3 weeks in a row that I've missed. Well, I won't miss this weekend, thank goodness. Um, because there was we were talking about miscommunication earlier. There was a miscommunication to where 2 people saw the email but didn't say, "Okay, sounds good." They saw the email and just took it at face value because our group leader, uh writing group leader was like, "Oh, since whatever, we'll just do it this Saturday or sorry, this Sunday." And then so 2 people like, "Okay, cool," without actually saying, "Okay, cool." they just took that at face value, like, "Okay, we're not gonna be going this Sunday." And then Chris showed up, and I think one other person showed up, so they kind of did the meeting amongst themselves, but then the next week included everyone else. And then this next week, they'll do Chris's, who's the leader, submission because I don't remember what their oh, I think someone didn't get the email, so there was one person that didn't read her submission. So it's been kind of a weird, we're not even in Mercury retrograde yet. I think that's at June 29th. It's coming up. But yeah. Um looking forward to the next one. Yeah, I'm getting back in it very soon. Um yeah, more clarity, more bird's eye view, hawk view of relationships and how people behave and present themselves. Yeah, and I just have a deeper understanding of human psychology. Even though even back then I had taken some psychology classes in college, just actually experiencing people living out these archetypes and psychology just in the media or in my life, um, or just kind of from afar through people who people of, friends of friends of friends, you start to see these psychological archetypes play out and you're like, "Oh, that's how that looks in real life, not just through a conceptual textbook lens." Like you can see it actually playing out and you're like, "Oh, that makes sense. Okay." Yeah. Yeah, looking at it with look at the players with empathy. Absolutely. I think that was kind of my groups, especially through book 1 before Versha in a version before Versha read. They're like, "Your villain is just like you're too sympathetic to the villain. So like don't be so sympathetic." And I'm like, "Okay, I think you're right." Like, yeah, I may be giving too much empathy to this villain. I need to make him a little more bite to him, you know? Yeah. So I did, and I think it improved the book. But yeah, having some empathy is absolutely needed though, I think. Even for the most archontic of archons in my book. Yeah, I bought a book that's about how to heal yourself. It is the parenting book from an Indian duo. That's what triggered the argument today morning. Oh, well, that's the thing, Versha. You can still greatly benefit from that information. You don't even have to, if he asks, "Hey, what was that book you ordered?" And then you want to share, "Oh, this Indian duo, and it's about this," and even then you could just say, "Oh, it's this by these people." Unless he's like, "Oh, I'm curious, like, what's that about?" Kind of almost let him take the lead in what it is you tell him. So if he doesn't ask fact finding questions, don't give him facts to find unless he's asking. But of course, if he's asking, like, "Oh, what was that book that you ordered?" in a very passive aggressive kind of way, of course, temper your expectations and use your discernment in whatever you want to share at that point. But if he's genuinely curious, and it's not even about how they say or the words they use, it's the energy behind it. The energy speaks, enters the room for me specifically, and the energy behind someone's intent enters the room before the look on their face, what they're saying, how they're saying it. The energy speaks first usually. If you're an intuitive person, energy will usually speak first and you already know, okay, I probably shouldn't poke a bear today. I shouldn't, whatever the case may be. Um in childhood, I had to learn that very like it was like a safety or a coping mechanism for me to learn, okay, it's not a good time to joke with my mom right now. Like I just know. Or whatever the case may be. Yeah, Saturn and Jupiter and Virgo in first house. And mine, again, I'm born basically if I was born 30 seconds earlier than I was, I would have been a Virgo ascendant. I'm a very early degree, early minute Libra ascendant. Yeah. Thought the predictions of astrology are not working for me somehow. I have observed this since a few months now. Either KRS, Puneet's astrology, exotic astrology. Oh, I love all three of those. Yeah, I wonder if I have transcended it. That could be the case because all these like transit updates and stuff, I'm like, doesn't like the end of 2024 through pretty much right around now of 2026 should have been like the golden age of my career. Nope. Nope, not for me. Not for me personally. I mean, it's been great. Like what the dynamic and the vibe of the people that I work with is top notch, chef's kiss, amazing. But as far as what they were talking about the financial abundance and the flowing in of this, that, and whatever, doesn't apply to me whatsoever. I'm like, that sounds nice, but I'm not gonna hold my breath waiting for all this money and good things coming through in my career because like I just like it's just not. I was very at the time like, okay, here we go, very naive, like let's bring it in. And then I would get disappointed every month that would go by, like, no, this month's gonna increase even more, even more. I'm like, Wah, wah. But the connections and the quality of people that come here are top notch. I cannot ever complain about that. That's for sure. It's just it actually providing abundance in my life is where I'm making changes for me to be able to have that be a thing. The energy exchange being beautiful and just flowing and top notch, just like you guys are, you know? Yeah. Well, you have a great day. Bye, the memesy. I hope I see you around again. It was fun hanging out. Yeah, I got some head massage from Kay and feel a bit better after continuous burping. Huge, loud, powerful burping has been back for me. So clearing and purging, that's absolutely what that is. Especially if it's not like, oh, I every time I eat this thing, that's what happens. If it's just out of nowhere, absolutely you're clearing energy. And maybe even out the other end too, sometimes for people. Usually when you're doing a big cleanse or a big purge, you might have, things are flowing very well down the south direction. Um, it's not fun, but sometimes it's very necessary. Probably a little TMI, but hey, it happens. We're human, right? Yep. Thanks for joining the live. Yeah, it was so good to see you. Yeah. I think that's what matters now is the wisdom from your embodiment of your I am presence. And that's the thing is like once you know better, you can do better. And we tend as spiritual people we'll tend to beat ourselves up for past versions of ourselves, and we may even try to, this is what I would do personally for years. I've tried to like cram myself back into that old version that people expect from me. Like, you see these same people at all the different baseball games and you kind of just try to show up as that same version of yourself, but like that's becoming increasingly more difficult as we're moving into this sleeping phoenix energy. We're just going to have to really be authentic and be who we are now and who we're becoming into the future, even if that, who you are now is going to look different than who you are 2 years from now. That doesn't mean you were putting on a false mask before. It's just the level of embodiment you were at then is different than, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 months ago. Like these changes are becoming pretty quantum leap. Like things are moving fast. So don't feel bad or don't feel like you have to like keep shrinking yourself back into that old version of yourself just to please other people. And in fact, when you start to show up and stretch your back, let it crack a little bit, like, oh, I've outgrown that old version, like I've shed that skin. It can feel really disheartening or just almost unauthentic to the people in your life because they expect you to show up as X, Y, or Z. And now you're showing up in these new ways that are almost feeling like an attack on who they are or what they're trying to do in life. And that's not where you're coming from. You just can't, it's literally will kill you to stay in those old versions of self. Physically, it's so taxing to shrink ourselves into those old versions or old frequencies or try to stay on the level of kind of the status quo of what's going on at work or, with extended family or even people in your own household. Like, and usually the higher frequency person will start to pull everyone up with them, but, we just if there's a lot of animosity, like, especially Versha, in your case, you're trying to rise your elevate your frequency and you're purposely trying to clear and purge. Yes, you're beautiful. And maybe that was also a message for you, Versha. You're beautiful. Um, clear and purge and everything purposely to try to elevate spiritually. The people in our households, us in your case, can almost see that as an attack because who are you to shine? Like this is who you are. This is who I know you to be. Why aren't you that person anymore? You're attacking me. You're not. But that may be how they're interpreting things. It's sad, but I guess necessary that we need to go through this because like attracts like as we raise that vibration, certain people in our lives will start to fall away and then certain new people will come in, or maybe your own spirit is just filling in the gaps where other people were kind of defining who you are for you, and instead of replacing that person or that job or that whatever with something new of the same sort but just higher frequency, you're just allowed to embody that take up more space within your own spirit in your physical body, your own physical biofield. um it doesn't mean that, one in and one out. Like you replace, well, I cut out my brother of my life. So like now, this is not my life. I'm just saying as an example, I cut out my brother. So now I have to find another brother like figure that's more on my frequency. Maybe not. Maybe it's not a one in, one out situation. Maybe it's just I can be my own brother and treat myself the way that I think my brother should have been treating me the whole time, or husband, or child. There are even adult people cutting out their adult children because their adult children are toxic. Or maybe adult children are cutting out their adult parents because their adult parents are toxic. Whatever the case may be. Just because these people had a place in our lives doesn't mean they need to stay there in the same way. We're shifting, their role may be shifting as we're shifting. Like it's so don't beat yourself up for that, Versha. You're not doing anything wrong. And in fact, you're doing everything right. It just feels wrong because the matrix is losing its grip on you, so it's going to cling harder and fight harder and yell louder to try to keep you enmeshed and ensnared in what once was because you're moving out of that. Yeah, I guess you have to still stick some time limits on reading. Uh, oh wait, I think I missed some things. Let me go back up. Yep. I think what matters is wisdom and embodiment. I showed him lines about emotional blackmail and I could see how triggered he got. Yeah, it's almost like, like they say on those TikToks, when you're in a dream and you tell the dream characters you're not real. That is that is a personal attack on the matrix, and they're going to retaliate, whether they're like vindictive, like glaring daggers at you, or they're going to try to sabotage you in some way. Like it usually there's a retaliatory energy when you claim your power back. It's really sad, but that's just kind of the matrix testing. Are you sure? Are you sure? And it's kind of their last ditch attempt, throwing spaghetti at the wall just to see if you will still play their game, play the matrix game. And it's not that that person themselves is a matrix operator. It's just the matrix operating through them because that's how we're all programmed from birth, most, if not all of us. And then once we start to awaken, we can clear those subconscious programs to where we're reclaiming our spirituality and not just running these scripts. Because even spiritual people that have their spirit somewhere in there are acting in their own lives as NPCs. Like, I see it everywhere, all the time, 24/7 in this world. Like, it's just, you know? And even people who are spiritually awakened can have times throughout their day where they kind of go back into that NPC behavior. And I can catch myself doing this, like at baseball games, and just like, oh, yeah, oh, that's so cool. How's so and so doing? Not that I don't care, I do, but it's just, you kind of have these old scripts that you run when you talk to, acquaintance type people. Um, it would probably be weird if you were just like, yeah, I had a huge level up last night. This was my dream last night. These people would probably look at you like you had four heads. Like, why are you telling me this stuff? What happened to you? Are you okay?
Um,
Is your sanity in the room with us right now? Like,
I'm going to park by Charlie's house. Okay.
wait, with who?
No.
Is he walking down here?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going. I'm gonna go.
Which park by Charlie's?
I don't know.
Oh, up that way. When you said Charlie's house, I was thinking at his dad's house. You meant at his mom's house? The one up by Chief Charlotte?
Yeah.
Okay. Love you. All right. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, showed him lines. Okay, read that. Exactly nothing. But I guess you have to still stick to some time limits on reading. Yeah, hope I am not keeping you here away. No. If you did I miss something? If you wanted to donate again, that's fine. I'm still here. I was just chit-chatting at the end here. I hope I'm not keeping you here away from something important. No, no, not at all. I love this. I love it. Yeah, these topics are like so me stuff. Me too. And it's just fun to like this is the stuff I want to talk to these like different sports parents and other people in my life about, but it's like I can like there are certain people in my life I can talk to about these things, but it's almost like I can tell when their like matrix self has reached a capacity because they will almost 9 times out of 10 change the subject. Even though I'm like in the middle of like a sentence, they will just interrupt it and change the subject. And instead of being like, how dare you interrupt me or try to get us back on track to the topic we were talking about, I realize, okay, they're not ready for this, so I'm just gonna not try to. I noticed it the other day with my sister. We were talking about human design stuff, and I was trying to tell her things about because her and I have the same incarnation cross, and but she's a reflector, and I'm not a projector. I'm a generator. She's a reflector, and I was trying to tell her something about her chart specifically, and then she just completely changed the subject about something. And so I realized she's just not ready for this. So that's it. That's okay. I'm not, back when, say, even maybe as nearly as 7 years ago, I'd almost get offended. Like, oh, you think your topic's better? Like, still in my own ego about it. But now I'm just like, they're not ready for it. Like, I wish people were, but they're just not, and so I'm not trying to force it anymore, and it kinda goes back to what we were talking about earlier about, like, miscommunication or people actively misinterpreting you, miscommunicating. Um, yeah, it's such a nuanced thing, and kind of you kinda hit and hit and hit and come up against the wall, come up against the wall, and then eventually you're like, "Oh, they can't hear me the way that I want them to hear me," so, like, just remove the obstacle. Stop talking about it or stop trying to make fetch a thing. Apparently, I'm just quoting Mean Girls all day today. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. You can't sit with us. All the Mean Girl quotes. Um, yeah, anyway. Yeah, that's what he called me, a hypocrite and false guru with God syndrome, etc. Well, that just tells you, Versha, he doesn't understand that we're all God. He doesn't understand that. We all have our own path up that mountain. Yours is just as valid as his, as is valid as whoever's and whoever's and whoever's, you know? But, the more that and this is where when I every time I reread the four agreements, it just hits even deeper because I've hit even deeper layers of my own understanding about how I can cooperate or communicate with others, even with we're not on the same wavelength. Like to just realize we're all dreaming our own separate dream. There's no better than, there's no worse than, it's just different, and when we can realize that, okay, you've got your things going on, I've got my things going on, and we all have just different ways that we're coming about life, and we all have different missions that we're here to accomplish or just stay stuck in the matrix. you know if we don't awaken in this life, it's kind of like, oh well, there's like going to be another chance. But especially once you become spiritual awakened, like, you just want to go out and wake up everyone you love and care about and be like, get on my wavelength so we can all be here together. And it's just like, it doesn't always happen that way, and I'd say 9 times out of 10 it doesn't happen that way, and it can be like you're breaking your own heart by going on your spiritual path, but you can't not. Like, there's this fire within you that's saying you can abandon yourself up until about this date, but after this date, if you keep abandoning yourself, you're literally not gonna be breathing any air anymore because you will not be in this physical body. Get to stepping, get to elevating, and get going. We need you. It's like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir." And it's not some voice outside of you that's telling you this. It's your own spirit, like, kicking you in the butt in a loving way, but it usually will show up in physical ways in your body. Like me, my big wake up call was my blood had no iron in it. My body had no iron in it anymore. I was down to probably around 2% of my iron, and 98% was has left the building, exited stage left. So it was a, as they say, coming to Jesus moment, but coming to spirit moment of, oh crap, I can't keep living like this. I have to do the things that I know I need to do that I've been putting off, hoping the world would catch up with me, and it just isn't, and it just hasn't. So I got to keep on going. And that's to say, sometimes when we just trust our own path, that others will be like, wow, she trusted her path. Not like it's a competition, but like, oh, she trusted her path. Okay, it's possible. Maybe I can trust my own path now. It's almost like you become that example or inspiration for other people. But don't do these things to be inspirational to other people, or you're going to fall on your face. Do it for your own self, do it for your own spirit. That's how you do it. That's how you go and evolve. And if certain people in your life don't get inspired and don't want to follow their own spiritual path forward, they just want to keep doing what they've done, that's not your fault. That's not your responsibility. You could still love them, but it's just like anything else. You think of all these people in your life, like maybe the best analogy I can come up with is like, okay, you're the parent and you have these children who are growing up and they're now leaving the nest, or they're old enough to live their own lives. You can still love and support them and see the mistakes they're about to make coming a mile away, but you just kind of have to bite your tongue and smile and nod and give them a hug and wish them the best. Unless they come to you for advice and then you give them that advice and they follow that advice, it's out of your hands. Yeah. Oh, Getsaleka has donated, so we're gonna get into that. Yeah, I do feel lonely at times, but when I spend more time with Carrie K's videos, courses, I'm more inclined into doing GCS, oh, GGC, GGC application. There you go. You look so cool, Wrigley. Love your hat. I'll have to tell him later. He left, I think. Yeah. No, you're good, get to let go, we're still here. Yeah. Yeah, most of the people around us are not even close. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, you can have all these close family members, close people in your life, but how well do they actually know your heart? How well do they actually know your spirit? How much of yourself are you vulnerable with them? Do they just know kind of the comings and goings of your day? Like, okay, I worked today, my kids went to school today, we have baseball tonight. Like, is that like just as my example? Um, does my family and my extended friends and whoever know me just like, okay, that's what she has going on? Or do they know, hey, I'm really struggling with my health right now, or, I had this really weird dream last night. Like, on what level do the people that you consider close actually know you? Do they just know like what you've been doing, your comings and goings, or do they actually know your heart? Do they actually know? That's the thing is like the close relationships and friendships in my life that I choose to kind of have as my inner circle. Like, I don't want them to just know like what's my schedule, what's my agenda. Like, I want them to know like, you know, the things that are going on, like, not just externally, but, like, inside of me, you know? Not like I have to share every little thought I've ever had, but, like, you want people to know you, not just what you're doing and what your job title is and that kinda thing. And that's where the loneliness comes in. It's when you don't feel seen or heard or actually known by the people around you. You just feel like, "Okay, we're just existing in this place or this space, and I know you did this today. I know that they did that today." It's like, but like I don't know them. Like that's where you can start to feel lonely. Like no one knows me, or especially when you are on a spiritual path, there's even deeper layers of knowing that we can reach that people who are still asleep can't. And then when they can't see you through those lenses that you can see their pure spirit, it's almost just it aches. It's almost like a two-way mirror. Like you can see that, or a one-way mirror, I should say. You can see them very clearly through that spiritual lens, but they can only see you as far as like your ego allows you to see them. And it's like, oh, I'm here but you don't even see me. Like, there's so many even close relationships in my life that I've kind of just had to grieve the fact that they may never know me as who I actually am. And that's okay. Because there were times back in the day that I didn't know them on those levels that I can feel their spirit now. They still can't see me in that regard. It's just it's nuance. So reading the four agreements is like the best medicine if you're lonely and you just feel like no one gets me, no one understands me, no one knows who I really am or cares about me for who I really am. They only care about me for what I do for them or how I praise them or how I show up for them through the lens of their own ego. But that's probably 99% of how we relate to people is through the lens of our own ego until you have this deeper awakening where I would say maybe the purest way people can really see someone is when they have a child and they are holding that child for the first time. It's like that's probably the closest lens I can explain to people who are unawakened as to how someone who's awakened can start to even see the bad guys, the bad power players in the world. Like you can say on surface, "Oh, I hate that person," but like deep down it's like you feel, if there's a spirit left, if they're just a meat suit running a code, there's really no love there because there's no real spark of life there either. They're just running matrix scripts. But the people who are maybe running matrix scripts but have a spirit, it's like you almost give how they are and who they are the benefit of the doubt and see them through that lens of spirit, even though they're only showing up through these NPC scripts. And many of us can just go years and years and years seeing people through their highest divine potential, but they're showing up in ways that are not good for them, they're not good for others, but we still love them anyway. And I say 99% of humanity is still there. It's not like anyone's doing anything wrong or, oh, people who are awake are holier than thou. That's not how this is. It's just we can see more of the picture, I guess. It's like that little match that's lighting this completely dark cave versus turning on like a huge spotlight and seeing all the details in the nuance. Not all of it, because I don't think any of us can see the full picture, but each of us are seeing a deeper version of this picture versus that picture versus, you know, but even still, we're all standing in different parts of the cave to only see so much that, you're awakened. You're not some guru on a mountain. You don't know everything. And in fact, the more that you realize that you know, the more you realize that you don't know. Like that's the weird dichotomy of it. But When these people think, "Oh, I figured it out. I had this awakening. I know everything." No, that's your ego is still very much holding that flashlight for you. Like, yeah. And we even, even when we spend, however much time being more of our spiritual selves, we can still step into ego. Like it happens. Like, especially when you're dealing with ego enriched, enmeshed people, you can get pulled down into that, or you can hold that spiritual space and pull them higher up the ladder that way. It works both ways. It's just hard. Like when you're like just trying to live in life, you have a much harder time staying in your vibration and pulling them up, then it's just easier for you to drop down and relate to them in that more ego way until after the what's the word? Uh what's the word? Encounter uh or interaction. You you like play it on in your mind later like, man, that was such an ego way to take care of that, or that was a snarky comment I made that like what was I doing? I was so not coming from spirit in that, but like then you kind of like try to, send them love and cut cords and try to do better next time. It still happens. We're not these completely self-actualized. I mean, in our true form, yes, absolutely we are. But most of who we actually are isn't even present in the room with us right now. It's not physically incarnated in our body. We have access to it and we kind of tug on the line like, "Hey, give me some wisdom." But us, if more of our spirit came in, it would probably physically kill our body if it came in too fast, too much. So we got to be nuanced about what we're doing. And that's why, but that's kind of all leading up to say, that's why when we know better, we need to start doing better. And if we're continuing to throw ourselves to the wolves of this matrix and people who are very enmeshed in the ways of the matrix, we just keep chipping away at our own physical vitality to a point where we're not going to be able to be in a body anymore. That's when we have to start detaching and pulling away. And even if we are alone in our energy and just maybe interacting with a handful of people or just keeping our matrix interactions more brief, the better off we're going to be, even if we feel lonely. But that's what this Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix is calling for all of us to do, is to step into authenticity. Not authenticity of ego, but that's a start. Stepping into the authenticity of your own ego is a start, but then keeping going. Don't just, okay, I made it, I've arrived. We've never arrived. There's more growth, there's more development, there's more to learn. And I don't think even learn. It's just remember. Remember who you are. You're remembering who you are a little bit at a time. Yes. Okay. Catch up on comments. Just donated in PayPal, out for dinner, hence donated late. No worries, Getuleka, you're good. My mind mainly just wants to think and learn about anything involving learning about myself and why we are here. I find it so interesting, and any other topic can feel like wasting time. Oh my gosh, I've so been there. I've been using just my different divisional charts of my Vedic astrology to like really get down to the brass tacks of not only like who I am as a human, but like what is my ultimate spiritual potential in this life? Because it can tell you kind of the lower path you're taking, the middle safe path you're taking, or that more spiritual higher path you're taking. All three are very much represented in every birth chart, divisional chart of your birth chart. Um, and we could be living on in certain areas of life on that higher path and then other areas of life on that middle or even lower path, and it can kind of be a mixed bag. But just you knowing and understanding who you are, just in a psychological way, just looking at it through a very analytical psychological, like, what are my attachment styles, what is my personality type. And it's not to say that you will forever always be that specific attachment style, because especially with attachment styles, those can be healed to become secure attachment styles. I've gone from avoidant to anxious to, you know, secure to back to avoidant. Like we can maybe just be like, oh, I'm that exact attachment style, and then like go back to another. We can almost like regress ourselves just because life gets hard, and the people around us are fighting for their own battles as well, and it's just like we almost just get tossed back into the waves, and we kind of have to pull ourselves back out. But the more you can surround yourself with people who are on your frequency, on your wavelength, the less you're going to have to sacrifice your own frequency to be who you actually are. You can just be who you are. And it can feel lonely, but sometimes that alone time is needed, especially if you're kind of more on the introverted, more needing more alone time. kind of end of the spectrum, it can feel at first lonely, like you almost want to fill the void with like getting on your phone or just learning like ad nauseum, like I've been doing. Like I just want to learn all about who I am. Um, to just almost not feel that loneliness of just being in your own energy. But sometimes being alone and being lonely are two very different things. And there are times where I'm alone and I'm working on my book stuff and I'm just like in this that is my meditation, that is my therapy. Looking at my charts, me writing this series, that is my dharma, that is my karma, that is my moksha. Like it's so clear that this is what I'm here to do, not only to help anyone who would read it or the collective in some way, but it's literally how I heal my own wounds from this life, past life, and how I get it all figured out, not on this mental way, but in this very much in my gut, like just in my spirit, just transcending, you know? But maybe someone else needs to go be a monk on a mountain and renounce the material world. Maybe that's how they need their moksha based on what their chart says. And hey, maybe if your chart says one very specific thing and you're like, yeah, just I want to go my own way, do my own thing, then transcend the chart. But at least there are many, 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 many Easter eggs that your own spirit has hidden in your birth chart that I wouldn't renounce or just completely count it out at all. I would learn your chart as much as you can inside and out. Whatever form of astrology, there's no better or worse. The one that you resonate most with, that is your best path. If it's Western astrology, if it's Hellenistic astrology, if it's sidereal or, whatever Ayanamsha you're using, whether it's Lahiri or Fagan Bradley or whatever, whatever one kind of in your gut is like, this is the right one for me. And maybe like me, you start out in Western astrology and you kind of learn some things and you're like, this is really cool. This really resonates. And then you didn't even know sidereal or Vedic astrology was a thing. And back in 2016, when I stumbled across it, I'm like, I feel home. I feel at home here. Like I had to have in a past life maybe not been an astrologer, but, like, knew something about it in depth to where, like, the nakshatras really speak to me and the, like, just how everything goes and fits together really speaks to me in a way that I feel like I'm putting a puzzle together in a way. But hey, maybe for you, that's Western astrology or Chinese astrology or Mayan astrology or numerology, or maybe you want to just cherry pick bits and pieces and like I will use like the Western astrology vertex, but using the sidereal placement of vertex, Chiron, Sedna, all these different asteroids, Lilith. I love looking at Lilith when I do readings because I'm like, this tells you your deepest wound, not only what your deepest wound is, but how to heal it, like how to bring your voice back to the world in a way that your spirit is asking you to do. Like, there's so much you can gain, but it's what you're intuitively drawn to, Marlene, and everybody else listening. What you're intuitively drawn to really go toward, start there. And then that stepping stone may lead you to this whole other thing you didn't even know existed, but just you taking those first 5, 10, 20 steps gets you where you need to be. And again, it's like kind of like walking through the dark with a flashlight. If you're just going to stand in one spot and kind of wave it around, you can only see so much. But if you start taking steps, even if you can't see in front of you, but maybe, I don't know, 10 feet, 15 feet in front of you with a high powered flashlight. But if you're walking and taking steps, more is becoming available to you as you take those steps. So that's kind of how I look at anything you're learning about. Versha getting that book with that Indian duo, maybe she reads something in that book that she had no idea existed, and then she goes off on this whole other rabbit hole or path to learn about something that may be part of her life purpose. Like you just never know. So just following your intuition and like learning, gaining knowledge. And if you're gonna like, if you're like, I don't even know where to start, I would just say if you want to know who you are, not on just a human level, but also human level, but on a spiritual level and what it is, what's your life purpose? What's your soul asking you to do? What's your spirit asking you to do, even more importantly? What challenges are you here to overcome? What gifts are you, you know, what gifts did you bring with you to utilize to be able to make financial abundance in your life so that you can you know, create your spiritual mission, heaven on earth here, Um, start with your birth chart, whether it's Western astrology, Chinese astrology, Vedic astrology, whatever. Just learn your sun, moon, your rising, and just go from there. Um, it's a lot easier than I think people make it out to be. They see these weird looking wheels and graphs and charts, and they're like scratching their head, like, "What? This is all Greek to me. What is this?" And that's where I started. But then I'm like, okay, I do like when I do my charts on Parashara's Light software that I have, it's the North Indian style chart. Like I to this day can't read a South Indian chart because that's not what I learned on, and I haven't like sat back and taken the time to learn, okay, does the ascendant always take place right here at the top like it does in kind of those diamond formations of that North Indian chart? um I feel like I'm like doing like magical I swear I'm not. But yeah, just where does the ascendant start? And I know, like in Western astrology, I think for you guys it would be here in that zodiac wheel, like on astro-seek.com. You can run sidereal placements through that like kind of more Western wheel of zodiac, and I've been using that a lot actually lately because I have that on this laptop just as like a website that I go to because this computer is about to die. I can't barely get it to do anything. It keeps popping a bunch of pop-ups up. I don't know what's going on with it. So I can't even edit a photo on this thing right now, let alone check like what my next Mahadasha, Antardasha, whatever Dasha that I'm stepping into, which I know it's gonna shift soon. Um Not my main Mahadasha, but like a sub Antardasha kind of vibe, like 3, 4 down the pipe. If you're like, what is she talking about? Don't worry about it. It's okay. If you know, you know. Um, but yeah, usually I'll get on my chart on here and look up that like those dates and stuff on there, but it's been difficult. So I've been using the just basic Western astrology wheel, but using the sidereal placements on the wheel. And then there's also a thing called true sidereal astrology, which will take, instead of just everything being an equal 30-degree pie in the wheel, like the constellation of Virgo is absolutely huge. Like it takes up like so much space. So it's like I don't even know how many degrees. So that completely wipes out all of my Libra placements and actually puts them into the sign of Virgo. So I'm like Virgo, 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 Virgo. So pretty much 95% of the population is Virgo something. Like it's taking up that much space. But yeah, anyway, let's get into Gittaleka question. Um, Let me just see. People give me a blank look, which makes me feel like an alien whenever I try to touch deep topics. Yeah, and in some cases, we almost feel like aliens until this world shifts. But all of us aliens out here are gonna start finding other aliens, and we're not gonna feel so alone. And it's already been happening. Like even since my awakening in 2016, I've even like right out of the gate, I found a spiritual community on Facebook and like made some friends that I still talk to from time to time on Messenger. You know, Taryn and Kim, they used to watch my channel back in the day. I haven't talked to him in a hot minute, but you know, I still will check in with them once in a while and we'll have a little chat. But you know, just some of those people that you'll find them usually online to start. But then like the greatest gift that I got was my friend Jessa, who I grew up with. She's 4 years younger than me. She had her own awakening not long or kind of around the same time I did, and we didn't realize it because we kind of like she moved away and you know life gets busy and we had young kids at the time and um you know, but we came back together, you know, as the universe will bring you back together, and we were both like awakened and like, bitch, we've been awake the whole time, but just didn't realize it in so many ways that we would like communicate and vibe together. And like the funny thing is though, like my brother, like her and I would like get together and we'd be on this weird wavelength. And my brother was highly offended. The second we touched base together, he was high like he'd be fine with her on her own, me on my own. But the second her and I came together, it like triggered him. Um, but that just lets you know that that energy is poking something in people to say, "Hey," not like, you know, it can go the other way too. Like there's something off about this person and I get a bad vibe from them and I don't like them. But you can also like I have Pluto exactly on my ascendant, so there can be people that when they first meet me, they're like, "I thought you were stuck up. I thought you were like really weird. I didn't like you and I just almost felt repelled by you." There was this one specific girl um who has since passed away, but like right before she passed away, like her and I, not really from my end, I was kind of like, "Why do you hate me? Like I've never done anything to you." Except I think she was jealous cuz this picture. She used to right around the time him and I were kinda, I don't know, seeing each other, we weren't really together, but we were kinda like crush vibes. But, right after I kind of was like, "Yeah, I think I'm good. I don't wanna be anything more than friends," her and him started dating, but we were still friends, but, like, from a distance because he lived in a different town than me. I think that's where it really stemmed from, is she did not like me because of that. But right before she passed away, she added me like, probably a year before, she added me on Facebook and she's like, I just feel the need to apologize to you. And I was just a complete idiot back then. I was on substances, like, not me, but her. Like, this is her message to me. She was on substances that, were making her jealous. And, like, she didn't really come right out and say anything about Isaac, but, like, she just was like, I was not a good person back then. And I apologize for any animosity or anything. Like, now that I can actually have some perspective, like, you're a cool girl, like, I'm sorry. And I was like, wow. But it took such courage for her to do that. But I was just gonna be fine with, like, okay, she doesn't like me. I don't hate her, but I don't also like her. I'm just kind of this weird, like, I'd rather not. Like, if she was in a place, a public place, like, I saw her once down at the car show when we were in Libby. And I just like, oh, there she is. I'm just gonna go this way. Not from a place of I hate her or anything like that. That's kind of more how she was coming at me. But I was like, it doesn't feel good to be knowing she's there. So I'm just gonna exit stage left and go over here. Um, but it took courage for her to just be like, I was an ass back then. And it's not like she sought me out for friendship or needed anything from me. I think she, weirdly enough, I almost like she just needed to, like, tie up loose ends because, like, her spirit knew she was gonna be leaving, and she just didn't want to. I'll have chills. Oh, that's so weird. For some reason, she didn't want to leave that weird energy hanging just in case we need to come complete that in another life or something. Like, even just someone who's like, I've never was friends with her. I never even had a conversation with this girl in person. She yelled some really derogatory things. She called me a redheaded floozy. Yelled it out of a car window as Isaac and my other best friend that was in that picture and John and I were hanging out. She yelled it out the window because she was dating him at the time and she saw that we were standing together. So I mean, I get it, I get it. But I was still like, I'm not like in relationships, I'm not a jealous person. So to me, it's like, oh, back then, if he was hanging out with some girl and I thought we were something, I wouldn't automatically be like, is he flirting with her? Oh my God, I'm jealous. Like, I would just be like, oh, cool. Like, it wouldn't even register to me that I should be worried or anything. Like, I don't know. I just was never jealous in those ways. I could be back in the day jealous of, like, if I wanted to do something with a friend, but they were doing something with the other friend, but like, they must like that friend better than they like me. They never want to hang out and do anything with me anymore. Like, I could get, I guess, jealous in that way, but it was never like a romantic jealousy that I ever had about things like that. I don't know, but I don't know. That's just one weird example that needed to come up, I guess, before we close out. Well, we were gonna get to Lekka's question first. Yeah, let me catch up on comments. I've just been chatting so much. I'm not even getting to your comments. Too many, like, life stories need to come through today, I guess. Yeah, I know it'll be challenged to go deeper and face my ish more, but I want to invest in me more than before. Yeah, I get you so much. Yeah, mostly are those empty vessels. Yeah. Yeah, that is what I remind myself while meditating. I am just a subset of a whole self. Absolutely. I love that. That's such a great way to look at it. Because then you don't even take certain things so seriously when you realize that this is just but a pinhole little view of who I actually am and what is actually going on in the cosmos right now. This really, even the serious, serious, serious things in life, you can almost kind of step back and just not like in from like a cold detachment way, but like a detachment where you're like, this really hurts right now, but this has to happen for the greater of whatever's going on in this reality. And instead of like hating people or like throwing blame, like, again, with that example with that girl, like, I could have hated her and thrown blame, like, she hated me, and so now I hate her, like, but I didn't have it in me to hate someone for no reason other than the fact that they didn't like me, even though I could kinda dislike her and kinda put her at a arm's length for sure, but, like, when she passed away, even if she had passed away before trying to make amends with me for whatever reason, maybe she was doing, like, a 12-step program or something. Because I think a lot of times people will reach out and make amends with even the most random of people from their past. That might have been what that was. She never said that explicitly, but I bet that's what that was. Because I know she was on, like a sober journey at that point, so that's probably what was going on, which I can greatly. I mean, even if you're, like, not like you're mandated by the AA program to do that, but I would say no matter what, if it's your own volition or you're in a program where they're kind of supporting you to do that, that still takes a lot of courage to be like, hey, I messed up. Like, that takes balls, you guys. It really does. Try not to be crass on here, but there it is. Yeah. You remind yourself while meditating, I'm just a subset of this is just a subset of my whole self. The thought, fear, anxieties from the experience, from this incarnation, my soul is detached from it. I love that. Yeah, Swami, oh, I'm gonna butcher this. Vivekananda. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So Swami Vivekananda, arriving in the United States in July of 1893 to attend the World's Parliament of Religions in Chicago, he suggested very good methods about meditation. Oh, that's so cool. I might have to look into that. Yeah. Hey, I will go as I feel you're very uncomfortable. Oh, I feel very uncomfortable in my body right now. See you next week. Yeah, Versha, I hope you feel better. Just, ask the pain what it's trying to tell you. Maybe you'll get some downloads. Let it go, let it flow, whatever direction it needs to go. Hey, that rhymed. Yes, you got this, Versha. It also takes bravery to purposely say, okay, I'm gonna heal my trauma. What do I need to do, spirit? Bring it. Bring it on. Because literally just saying that much will make things happen. It's all about our intention, and people forget how magical and powerful they are. Just by setting an intention, this hurts right now. I've got this thing going on at work right now, and I cannot get through to this coworker. Please, like, help me see what is this. And it's not like you're praying to anything or anyone outside of you unless that's what you want to do. Just literally asking your own spirit, what is this trying to show me? Because anything and everything that's going on outside of you is a reflection of something going on inside of you, or it would not be in your conscious reality right now. The fact that something is happening, there's a problem, there's an issue, there's an obstacle, is your spirit in its way screaming at you, hey, this is an issue, this is a problem, we need to get to work on this. We need to clear whatever trauma is triggering you to respond in this way because of whatever. Like, we all have work to do. We all have like mountains and piles of work to do. Let's get to work. Let's just get to work. Yes. Anyway, yeah, at a time before India's independence, wearing robe of a monk, which Western world was not used to at that time, he was one of the most courageous and dynamic monks in the world. It's weird because in all the different research and things that I've learned, I don't think I've ever heard of him, which he seems like a very important public figure in semi recent history, if it was like 1893 or, yeah, 1893. Oh, yeah. And I think they had a pretty significant World's Fair in 1893. I don't remember if that was in Chicago or somewhere else, though. But I do remember doing extensive research back in the day into World's Fairs and just different things going on there that really put me in a rabbit hole with like the whole mud floods and Tartarias and the orphan trains and the incubator babies yeah, E. Warrenon's whole big documentary, um, all about that lost history of Earth. It was so good. I mean, I don't believe everything that was in there, but there were so many just good things to mentally and spiritually chew on. Like, part of me spiritually remembers a different reality than the one we've been sold in the history books, but it's like you can't quite catch or grasp what exactly that could have been. And they've given so many different resets, even as recently as, like the 1920s, they were still kind of on the tail end of that last reset they did in they did one in 16 something, 17 something. I think it's a really just resets within bigger resets that they've been doing to us this whole time. But as we all know, they're trying to do yet another big reset to kind of wipe history and kind of 1984, George Orwell, this whole new lens of reality that wasn't even real, but they want us to believe it, coming in yet again. And of course, with AI and the fact that they can literally they want everything digital now. They don't want you to have physical copies of certain things, including cash money. Like, they don't want you just to be able to take physical money without a paper trail and go spend that and do what you need to do. But like, especially like digital, like, information. Like, they could literally go in and change the wording of it. They could literally just wipe it like it never existed. Like, if you try to go back and find the internet from like even 1999 or 2012 even, it's gone. Like, so many websites have just been, and of course, like, oh, I didn't pay my for my domain name, so my website's going down. I mean, I can understand why certain websites have gone down, but places that, you would think would still be around, or websites or exact links to places that you used to go to, are just gone now. Like, the internet has been wiped in a lot of ways. Yeah. Love the healing trauma talk. You speak my language. I've been looking for a way to understand more in the way you explain. Thank you. I'll be seeing you again. Well, welcome. It's good to see you. Ismay. I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, but welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, we usually go live once to twice a week. So, and usually I'm on my computer. I just went live on my phone today, so there it is. All right, get to Leka. Let's go ahead. I'll timestamp just in case you want me to put that, and then I don't have my little notepad here. There it is. So get to Leka Ray, and we're at how far are we into this? Oh, 143 minutes and 55 seconds. That might change because normally it'll tell me how many hours and minutes, but when we end, it'll be toward the end, obviously, of the live stream. But I'll just put 144. It's still going. So 144:10 as the timestamp. Well, 144 minutes. I can probably do the math and just subtract 60, or every 60 minutes is an hour. Obviously, I know that. So I will do the mental math on that after we're on off the live stream, I should say. But let's get to Lekka's question, and then that'll probably be it for me today. I have not even eaten breakfast yet today. I'm just drinking coffee from that I made way many hours ago today. And Wrigley even took some drinks of my coffee. So I didn't even get a full coffee today, but I'm not even that hungry, so it's fine. Yes, okay. So get to Lekka's message is general message and advice from my spirit. Why do I feel some sort of emptiness and void in my heart since childhood? Why do I feel the support from people around me even when I do not feel the support from people around me even when I am vulnerable? Every time I pull myself away from the pit hole. Okay. Let's get into it. I want to go to the lovely ladies tarot. Haven't used that one yet today, so let's get into it. All right. So I just already heard one of these things is not like the other. And this is not like, oh, you were like so different than other people that you had to be like othered. But this is like, spiritually speaking, you came in just more aware, more enlightened, more spiritually attuned to nature, to other people's moods, to your own. Maybe even if you didn't understand from a young age your own spiritual path, there was just something inside of you from a very young age, Gitaleka, that said, I'm here to do something big and good for the world. Even if, you try to minimize it, year after year, you're like, oh, well, my big could just be that I'm a really great employee and I, put a smile on people's faces and I do the job the best that I can. You know, you've almost tried to minimize yourself because you didn't quite fit. Like you were a piece of the puzzle. You're trying to be part of this puzzle of the matrix, but your puzzle piece doesn't even go to this specific puzzle. You go to this whole greater cosmic puzzle that is not even just this flat two-dimensional little. I got a little one of those little sticky tab things here sitting here. So, all these other puzzle pieces are like this, but you're more like this. You're multidimensional, multifaceted. Like if you were to try to fit yourself into this just flat plane of everyone else's matrix existence, you stick out so much like a sore thumb, but like in a good way, because you are a multifaceted, multidimensional, higher frequency person that has just a spiritual light to you, that when people are not awake, that spiritual light it almost illuminates you as an other, like are othered. A lot of times, growing up, like if you're neurodivergent like I am, you you already just inside your own mind, you feel like you're othered to other people. But then certain people will other you as well. Like they can see it almost like a beam of light around you saying, "Hey, they're not like us." And they kind of take it in a bad way because what they don't understand, they almost demonize or other. They put them as an other. But let's read your question and get some cards again. Read the question again and get some cards. This is kind of just a preemptive of what we're talking about here. Um, why you don't feel the support from people. Well, that's pretty much why, but let's see if any other nuance we need. Okay, so we have here the Nine of Pentacles, all that othered energy, or just feeling like, you're in this void or emptiness because you're not quite fitting in to what's already kind of here on the surface. You're fitting into what's already here kind of beneath this false matrix, absolutely, because you're part of that cosmic design. But your hard work is going to pay off. You will start, having people come into your life or attracting people in your life. So, oh, they have some workers out there. I guess that's what the big trailer was earlier. But anyway, um that work that you did to, even if you're analyzing, "Well, why am I different? Why do I feel different? What's going on with this?" Um, you are actually kind of almost putting your own more multi-dimensional puzzle together where things actually fit. Look at this, and they even fit in the corners and the cracks. Look at that. You're putting almost this your own spiritual puzzle together with maybe that flat plain knowledge that you've gotten from these other people, but that's why you felt that emptiness, is because this just flat plain existence of just going along to get along. You go to work, you pay your bills, you eat, maybe you talk to a few people, you do that for years and years and years and years and years, and then you die. It's like, no, that's not what you're here to do. Maybe you're doing those things just like everyone else, but there's more to who you are. And that's where this emptiness and void comes in a lot of times, is when we don't find other people. There's no other puzzle piece to put together with us like this, so that we're just bumping around. Okay, this one. Okay, let me get a different one. Oh, this one. No, that one's not. That's what that's like. That's what's really coming through, because I can really empathize with where you're at. And I'm sure Versha, if she was still here, could as well. And yeah, it's just very much, oh, these ones came out as well. Let's read these. Um, it's not until you start to find that beauty that's within you reflected in other people, which I'm sure you still can find the beauty in people that maybe aren't quite on your frequency, but you can see their divinity, you can see their beauty, but they're just not as online as you are with just all these multifacets. It doesn't mean that people like this in your life can't become this, because they already are that. They just forgot. And they're showing up like this day after day after day after day until they decide, "Ooh, I'm going to be this." Because that's what I actually am. I'm not going to go into the false belief that this is all I am, because it's not. Even within this matrix, that's not all we are. We may, you know, believe that. The word lie is right in the middle of belief. Um, we have here the Four of Pentacles. Again, it's like something is always missing. Something is always missing. But you are that which you seek. You are those missing pieces. And when you can start living in that authenticity, get to like a that's when you start attracting or drawing in. Even if it starts like with my awakening, it started with certain people online, and then people that I knew in real life but that were maybe living at a distance from me. When we did kind of come back together, we both realized that we've had a spiritual awakening, and that we could even deepen that connection that we had since childhood in ways that maybe we couldn't quite before. But even when we were unawakened girls, my friend Jess and I, as this example, we could really hit, this deep frequency within each of us, that we felt just like we knew each other on this deeper level, even if we were only talking about Spice Girls and boys and clothes and thrift shopping, like, all the fun thing, making our own commercials and babysitting our her cousins, and like my good family friends. We would babysit those kids all the time together and stuff like that. Like, we had a lot in common, but we also just felt each other on this deeper level. And there may have been people in your life, get to Leka, where you maybe did feel a deeper resonance with certain people, even if the topics and the things that you were doing seemed very mundane, babysitting kids and talking about fashion and singing and dancing along to Spice Girls and Ace of Base. Like, you know, but you still felt this deeper presence, even if you were using more surface level or kind of cultural ways to relate to each other. Um, and even still, there are going to be, wow, I love this. I love this. Six of Wands is victory. So this is about, after a long battle of, coming up again, as our example here, coming into contact with people like this, with this example, bring them back up. With this victory here, you will start to, and then this is about generational, and this is very Three of Pentacles meets Ten of Pentacles energy in this one card here. This is about finding your tribe, like attracts like, where you will start to bring in, where'd that other one go? Here it is. It's like, we're finding each other. We're finding each other. Look how we all fit together in this really, I mean, I could make it better, but I'm just trying to hover them here. But pretend they all fit together just magically. And you can even rotate them, and they just, it's multifaceted, multidimensional types of connections. So let's just see why you don't feel support from the people around you, is mostly because they don't have that multifaceted multidimensionality awakened. They have it. It's just not awakened within them, to where this is how you're meeting up with certain people. And even sometimes these types of connections can feel good, and you feel good walking away from someone like that, or they're cordial people, they're great, but it's just you're missing this just deeper connection where you feel like you know their spirit. That's the kind of connection you deserve and want to be able to have these connections with. But as far as how you when people okay, you do not feel the support people around you when you are vulnerable every time I pull up myself from the pit hole. Okay. So let's just see any information on that. Oh, oh snap. I love this. We have King of Swords and Queen of Wands. This is really cool because this what this is saying is it starts within you. Your own inner divine masculine, your own inner divine feminine. And the masculine way that you're showing up with this is in maybe in the way that you will frame a communication with someone. Maybe you do kind of just dive slightly, not fully, but like slightly beneath the surface of just, oh, look at the weather out there. It sure is hot today. That's kind of a surface level talk that, acquaintances or coworkers or people in your life you might have these kind of conversations. Maybe you're dipping your toe into, talking about something slightly more personal. Like you're not like going back to your childhood and revealing all your trauma or anything like that, but just something slightly more personal and personable to get them to share something more personal about themselves. And then before you know it, you're kind of forming this camaraderie, but you're kind of the one leading the communication in the direction of depth rather than hoping that someone will somehow come up and like, have you heard of star seeds? What do you think about star seeds? Or what all do you know about astrology? I've kind of been thinking about getting into astrology. I mean, it's usually not off the top of someone's head that they're gonna come up to you and just start going there, into a more spiritual place or talking about meditation or just really cool and interesting topics. It's usually something very surface level, very almost I just call them like scripts. Like people will run a script like, "Oh, yeah, the weather looks like," especially like at baseball, we're always so concerned about the weather because it's Montana in the springtime and it's either too hot or too cold or it's raining and it's windy and it's freezing. And then before you know it, it's like the sun is out and you're having to remove all your layers. Like so I understand weather talks for something like that, but it's sometimes fun to talk about other things than just stating the obvious, right? And you will start out, just to kind of fact find with certain people, you can kind of almost feel an energy or a vibe between you and someone. And you can just maybe, again, dip just below the surface and ask them a more personalized question than how's the weather? But then, as far as your divine feminine is showing up, this is about you just being, sorry about my dog, Arthur. You're okay, Puppy Peanut. This is about you just showing up as who you are. This already spiritual person who loves to do meditations and loves to deep dive and fact find. You just showing up in this energy. You may actually be surprised, get to Gataleka, that someone might come out of the woodwork and just offer up a deeper level conversation with you right out of the gate. Just by you being who you are, rather than feeling like, again, sorry about my dog, about you feeling like you have to show up as kind of this copy and paste scripted, especially like in public places like work or community events. Like this is where usually we kind of show up in these very almost scripted ways of operating. And not because are trying to have any kind of agenda. It's just kind of culturally how we show up. Arthur, you're okay, puppy. It's funny. It's like, just a second. Arthur, no pup. No. My dog's name is Arthur, and I have the wisdom of Avalon, Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur. So it's almost like he's telling me for you get to like a pull a card from the Avalon deck. So that's what we'll do. All right, get to Lekka. Just how can she how can she best feel in these times, even when people are still showing up and she's feeling unsupported? Oh, she loves dogs too. Yes, me too. They're like, I love dogs so much. All right, but here we go. Oh, this is funny because this came up in our collective reading the other day. So I was asking how you can best show up when you're feeling this just kind of disconnect or void between you and others. And then we get the restriction card. It's really funny because this card last time in Wednesday's collective reading came out with the birth and rebirth card. So you can start instead of showing up already because you feel like, okay, those people are going to show up in their scripts. They're not really spiritually online right now, or I can't really have a spiritual vibe or connection with these people, that you just automatically show up on their level. This is asking you instead of just defaulting to restriction. And then we have the number 5 here, which again, the kind of crosshatch up here. That 5 is about change, shaking it up, just showing up and maybe asking those deeper questions. You don't have to go directly to Area 51 aliens or anything like that, but just showing up and just saying, maybe you're sharing something personal about meditation or something. Again, you're going to be able to use your intuition and your discernment just to see if people are going to want to connect in that way, right? Um, you'll just kind of already know that certain people are just never going to want to talk about anything but the numbers at work or the analytics or the very logical, the weather. You'll just discern and be able to know there are certain people that you just know are going to always show up in that frequency, in that energy. But then, oh, I have itchy nose, which is good luck, good luck. But then other people might surprise you. You might intuitively feel like, almost like, should I say something? Should I not? Like, I kind of almost feel like me and this person might vibe, but like, do I say something and like sabotage this if they're just not open to it, or like what do I do? And that's where just kind of just slightly beneath the surface, finding a topic that is just kind of slightly beyond the mundane script talks and just seeing if you can engage them in conversation like that. Oh, that's so cool. Date of birth is August 5th. Very cool. My nephew has a birthday on the 10th, and I know that's somewhere near the 8-8 is like the Lion's Gate. I think technically we're still in Virgo. Yeah, I think we're still in not Virgo. We might still be in Cancer in Vedic astrology at that time. I can't recall. Maybe you have Leo at that point. I can't remember. I know it's still Leo in Western astrology at that point, but that's cool. Um, yeah, that very cool, not cool, it's usually very hot, very summery, very fiery energy of the month of August, at least in the northern hemisphere where we're at. Northern hemisphere. Let's just see any other Wisdom of Avalon cards for Get to Lekka before we close out. But that's cool. Same birthday as Mama Llama Mandala's sister. Very cool. And I do see Mama Llama Mandala's 6-7. So we will get you a card as well, my dear. Okay. Closing out for Get to Lekka, we have the cat. Oh, we were just talking about dogs and stuff. But we have the cat, independent, healthy boundaries. And yeah, this is the animal guides of Avalon. And it's funny because my dog named Arthur is what inspired me to pull from the Avalon, Knights of the Round Table, Avalon deck. So, very funny that we get a pet. And then the pets up here, the animal guides of Avalon. So the cat, and we have the number 18, which adds up to a 9, which is about being able to close out a cycle of restriction. So you may make those necessary changes to just show up as your authentic spiritual self instead of trying to become, okay, when I'm at work, I should be my corporate get to Lekka self. When I'm in meditation, I could be my spiritual, fully online get to Lekka self. When I'm with certain family members, I can kind of be half and half. When I'm with this, it's almost like just being that spiritual version of yourself as much as you can in all areas of life. Just allowing yourself to be just this light in the world. And I think you already do that. You're already showing up, like from our original example, you're already showing up very multifaceted to people. It's just that certain people don't know what to do with that because this is all they know and all they care to know, some of them. They don't have aspirations to become this. They don't even know this is possible. So when they see it in someone else, it almost like cognitive dissonance cannot compute what's going on. So it almost acts as in a way, kind of almost as a spiritual net, safety net, frequency net to keep people who are maybe not in your highest good kind of just at arm's length. Or you just kind of intuitively know, I'll probably never be able to relate to that person beyond just this work assignment or whatever the case may be. Um, but also on the flip side of that coin, you're going to start to really feel a vibe or a pull towards certain people that maybe are coming online spiritually or already kind of are in their own beautiful multidimensional dimensional frequency. Um, that they are, you just feel so supported and or just lighthearted, like things just flow. They're just easier around people like this for you, where you're not having to fit yourself in kind of a box or almost just like what was that like weather script again, like almost like we have to when we're more spiritually awakened, we almost have to kind of dumb ourselves down. And I know that, not to say these people are dumb, that's not how I mean it, but hopefully you guys understand the nuance of what I'm trying to say. But it's almost like we dull ourselves down to be palatable for those who do not have the appetite for like a 15 course 5-star meal. because that's how we kind of are in this multifaceted there's so much more to us. There's so many more ingredients that go into something like this than it just being flour and water as a flat little cracker. Flour, salt, and water. Three ingredients. Where this has got like so many different, like, there's some saffron, there's some, just the best, the most, like India is a really great place to source the most exotic and amazing spices. Like, think of all the most rare and exotic spices you could flavor some dish up with. Oh, I have chills. Ooh, that is what you are, Gitaleka. For multitudes of lifetimes, you have come in with this multifaceted, very uh exotically spice uh source code energy that matrix people just do not understand as these flat little saltine cracker types. you know and I know they call white people cracker. I don't even mean it like that, but like, unless we want to, that's kind of funny. But yes, it's very very different frequencies. Doesn't mean you can't still communicate with these people. You can. It's just you choose and want to and are craving the spice of life, the multidimensional type of people that can really understand you in many layers, rather than just this one flat layer that everyone is just expecting everywhere you go all the time. This gets so boring. So boring. Now this is fun. This is really fun. All right, good luck. I hope that registered for you, resonated for you. Um, you got a little something out of it. You don't fit in, or you almost feel this emptiness or void because you're not meant to fit into that very flat, two-dimensional, boring frequency. You're meant to shine and just be this jewel, almost. It's just the light shining out and from off of this beautiful jewel that you can turn every which way because there's no end, there's no limit to what this can be or do or create. And these people can't understand that. So you're not doing anything wrong. In fact, you're doing so many things right that you've almost just completely bypassed whatever this is. And you can reach this frequency absolutely because, you're living here. But as we get into this next year and the years beyond, the years that are coming, where we're having more access to this spiritual light and just the version of us that comes from spirit, we're getting more access to that in these coming years that this is not even gonna be fun for you anymore. Not that it is right now, but, you make do, right? We all make do. But this is not even gonna be an option for us anymore because 'cause we're gonna just transcend this altogether here in the next few years, to where if people are still operating at this level, they almost are invisible to us. Like, that's where we're moving energetically. Ruth, I know, you're okay. You're okay, Ruth. Anyway, hopefully that resonated for you. But let's get Mama Llama Mandala. I hope I'm saying your name right. Let's get you a dragon card. That's what we were pulling from for everyone else earlier. Ruth, no, you're okay. All right. For Mama Llama Mandala, Mama Llama Mandala. Maybe I'm saying, I don't know. I think I need to get closer and just really sound it out. All right, here we go. Here is your card. Anything you need to know in alignment with your true spirit. Ooh, this one came out kind of as our collective earlier as well. Ruth, you're okay. You're okay. So maybe this is also a message for you, Mama Llama Mandala. You're okay. It's all gonna be okay. Whatever it is, it's gonna be okay. Black dragon from Saturn brings you wisdom through spiritual discipline. Concentrate and focus on your ultimate vision and congratulate yourself. You have passed a test. So this feels like a very significant, kind of like we were talking about with Gitaleka's message about kind of almost dulling or dumbing ourselves down to fit in someone else's description or version of us. Ruth, or even past versions of you. If you've done some spiritual evolution, um, you no longer want to play small or as that 3 years ago version of you. You've elevated, and even people who are unawakened can outgrow versions of themselves. That's not even like, oh, unawakened versus awakened, but Ruth, it's okay. It's okay. But you, my dear, are just so ready to leave an old version of yourself and maybe ways that maybe it's not the relationships themselves. It could be for one specific instance in your life. There's a person that you're just like, I'm not vibing with them. But if I'm gonna try to vibe with them, it's like me again having to dumb myself down to their level rather than have them rise to my level. And I'm just tired. I'm just done with that. You don't have to keep doing that. But if it's more rather than you losing the person out of your life, just finding the nuance or just letting them know, if this is a friend or something that just wants to complain, like every time you get together, they just like brain dump all their complaints onto you. And then by the time you're done, you're like, oh, now I just feel heavy and just let it, having a very lighthearted conversation about maybe how, you know, let's talk about something really uplifting, or maybe you're trying to steer the conversation without even saying, hey, you're toxic, you're just dumping all your toxicity on me. Maybe you don't have to go down that road, and it's probably best not to go down that road with most people, but just to already be the one in charge of the conversation and kind of steer it in a more positive direction. That could be the case. But let's get a one more card here with the black dragon for you. Mama Llama Mandala. 2. I guess you get 3. 3. Okay, wow. So we have here feathers. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. And this is that person. Again, they're not on your level. And it doesn't mean that they're actively operating to sabotage you or anything. Again, this is like matrix tricksters using these people in our lives to get to us. So you can forgive the action, or sorry, forgive the person without accepting that action as good behavior. And it may be coming from a woman in your case. Dealings or relationship with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. And we have the club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will, especially if this person's trying to convince you to spend some money, or uh, you know, they're trying to give you advice that you're just not wanting to take. And it's, again, it's not like they're trying to sabotage you and like, I'm going to try to get her to do this thing. It's more the matrix working through this person to give you advice that's just not in alignment with you, or they're trying to get you on their side with something when you intuitively feel maybe they are the one in the wrong, something like that. It could be something like that. And if this is not ringing a bell for you yet, this could be very within the next week or maybe 2 weeks tops from now, this energy. So if you're having conversations with a friend or a family member or someone at work that kind of fits this description, um, just kind of know that, especially if they're kind of almost trying to convince you of something, that maybe they're not being completely sincere and genuine. And maybe there's, again, not their ulterior motive, but like the matrix is trying to get you to do something that you don't really want to do. Again, especially like if this is at work and someone is trying to kind of delegate something to you that you're like, that's not really my job. Like, why are you even coming at me with that? Um, this is you kind of seeing the writing on the wall ahead of time. But if this is already resonating for you, just know that this person may try to do this again, or they're just kind of operating in this energy right now. Again, doesn't mean you have to cut this person out of your life, but just kind of letting them know, hey, this is what I will allow, this is what I won't allow, or again, just steering the topic of conversation in a different direction to where they can't even bring up certain negative topics, or, whatever, manipulations, whatever it is. All right, so I hope that helped you, resonate for you, but that's gonna be it for me, you guys. Yeah, I've been going live, let's see, however long 171 minutes is. I like That's why I do like going live on my computer, because I can see how many hours and minutes. Well, I could probably deduce that from where went live at 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, almost 1 to 2, almost 3 hours we've been live. Let's put it that way. So I'm gonna go, you guys. Thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live. I will be back here on Wednesday next week. Most likely, I do have to check to see. I think Bandcamp, actually, now that I'm saying that, I think Bandcamp gets out at noon for Wrigley. I think it's 8 to noon. I don't remember exactly. But I'm gonna look at next. I'm gonna have to get with my husband and kind of figure out, because he signed him up for stuff, and I already know about certain things. So we need to get our summer schedules figured out here so that I can know when to go live. But I will still be going live Wednesday, regardless if he's at camp or not. It just may be earlier than 11 a.m. How about that? Maybe we'll start at 9:30 or 10, depending. Again, I will probably update the community tab here on my page, on my channel, whatever it's called, and let you guys know when I'll be live next. Or the day is probably Wednesday for sure, but the time maybe earlier rather than later. Could be later in the day. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. I'll get my ducks in a row, as Wrigley would like to be a part of, and we'll figure it out. And I'll let you guys know once I figure it out. I'll let you know. So that's gonna be it for me today. So I will see you guys next time. Peace, and I will see you next time. Bye. All right. Till next time. And end. All right. Bye, guys.